Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been 2 weeks since we've done a full show, but we're back at the NW Sportscast. It's time for the full show, final show of the year. How
Yes,
crazy is that?
2020 over.
Yeah, 2020, our first year. It's been quite a success. 88 subscribers now and growing, all thanks to Drew's reactions.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty, so Seahawks getting the big, much-needed win over the Rams. What do you guys think of it? Drew, we'll start with you.
Well, hold on. First off, I'm the only one that got the prediction right, so you two can suck it.
Yeah, that's true.
Haters of the Seahawks. But who's gonna start? You said Drew or me?
You can go
Let's
now.
let
You're
Drew
talking.
kick it off.
Okay, I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I did my prediction video. I don't know if you guys saw that. Obviously, I did not predict the Seahawks to win. This is one of my only weeks I predicted them not to win. So at this point, maybe I'll just keep picking the Seahawks to lose, and then maybe they'll win. I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't the best prediction, but just logically it made sense. I feel like the Rams have outplayed us like the last 3 games we played. But that game, our defense stepped up. Our offense didn't play great. But then again, the Rams' defense is super, super good. And my biggest takeaway is that our defense is top 10 defense in the league, especially going into the playoffs.
Yeah, our defense has very much impressed me. This is the like Drew, I got this one wrong. I'm now 11-4, I'm pretty sure, on my Seahawks predictions. So I've gotten this is my 4th one that I got wrong, but it's a good one to be wrong on, right?
Yeah.
All right, Seth, what do you think of the game?
Yeah, well, it kind of just showed that we can play Seahawks football again. We can run the play action. We can run the ball. And we can sprinkle in some big plays like that big pass. Was it Moore towards the end where he caught that deep one? Like, we can do stuff like that with the run, with the play action. Wilson's not going to put up the numbers, but he's not going to MVP anyways. Let's just win games, take it to the playoffs, and defense playing really well, shutting down a good Rams offense. So it was a good game all around. As much as the offense scored minimal amount of points, that is a very good Rams defense. I think they were the number 1 ranked in the league. So give us credit, 20 points, and we could have probably scored again at the end if we wanted to. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. Our offense, we basically had 2 good drives the entire game, but all we needed was those 2 drives. And I don't know, I still feel like Schottenheimer is holding us back from our full potential right now with the play calling, but
Which is
I was just glad to
interesting.
yeah.
I mean, that's interesting considering people are looking at him to be a head coach.
I do. If I was a team, I would not even consider him.
Yeah, me neither. I wouldn't consider him either. I don't like Shoddy as much as Seth does, I guess. I think that his play calling is average. I don't know why he'd be a head coach in the league. It's weird because since Russ has been out of the MVP conversation, he's played better. And I think really the MVP conversation stuff was getting to his head a little bit.
Yeah, I think
at the start of the year, he played really, really well. Then he started to be the front runner, started to slip up a little bit. And then once he had a stretch of bad games out of the MVP conversation, he's back at MVP-ish form. Still want to say he played the best game. But then again, you're playing the Rams defense. I can't hold it too much against you.
Yeah. The Rams defense is still really good, and I was happy with what we did there. I was happy to see Rashad Penny get on the field. Had a good couple of rushes. I wish we would have seen more of him, but I think they're just trying to make sure that he's healthy, and hopefully he'll be there next year. And who knows, he might even be our starting running back. What do you guys think about Chris Carson? Hearing what Pete Carroll said, basically saying he wants him back, but no guarantees. What do you think that means for Chris Carson's future with us?
Oh, well, I hope he stays with us. He's a great running back. He fits the Seahawks style football. He's a power back. He can get us yards. He'll go out there. He'll get you a 3-4 yard carry almost all the time and break some big ones like we saw. He got some 10, 8, 9 yard runs that just change the game a little bit. Critical first downs on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. So hope we get him back, and looking like we might not. So I don't know.
Yeah, as far as Chris Carson goes, in my opinion, he's like a top 10-ish running back. He's really, really good, really solid. But then again, he is just a running back, and I don't know how much I'd be willing to pay Chris Carson to have him back, just based off the salary cap probably not increasing, stuff like that. I don't know. It depends really how good Rashad Penny is. We can keep Carlos Hyde, etc. It depends all on how much they offer him, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's really where the issue is how much money does he want? Because I feel like I would pay him in the range of probably 10 to 15th most best for running back. I think he's probably in that range of running backs, like top half, but I probably would put him borderline top 10-ish. But if he wants money as a
like
top
9.
5, if he wants money to be paid like a top 5 back, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to pay him not like that, and we shouldn't. So I would say at
not
that
just
point
that,
we can keep around Penny and maybe sign somebody else.
Even if he's on the field, even if he does play like a top 5 running back on the field, he's not even on the field that often.
Yeah.
He gets hurt really, really often.
Yeah.
I think if he played a full season healthy this year, we might have to pay him a top 10, but I think he's going to have to take a 10 to 15 type contract, like Levi said. I'll break another news. I don't know if you guys heard about this, that we re-signed Luke Wilson, the tight end, again, which is really, really, really odd to me. I don't know why we would do that. I saw some comment that said maybe it's because he's a really good boost of energy heading into the playoffs, good veteran leader. And he's not going to get the field much, but
yeah.
I mean, thoughts?
I mean, look, we've had him. I think this might be the 4th time now that we've had him. And we've had him for the majority of his career, but he was on the Ravens, I'm pretty sure. The last I saw of him was he was playing against the Steelers because all their other tight ends had COVID, and he came off the practice squad, and he had an okay game, but what I really remember is dropping a touchdown that could have been a take-the-lead touchdown. I think it was right before the half. RG3 put it in his hands, and he just dropped it. So I don't know if he's actually going to be able to be part of our offense, but I mean, I think he's probably good to have a veteran leader. It sounds like Seth's having some internet issues, so
okay, we'll just continue, I guess. So how about
also an update on the Snacks Harrison issue? He has been claimed by Green Bay, so it looks like he's actually going to get his wish, which is to keep playing.
You know what's kind of not ironic but interesting is that we have a really, really good opportunity of playing Green Bay sometime in this playoffs.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what would happen then. I wouldn't say it's beef, but the team that he asked to be dropped from the Seahawks, then I don't know, that'd be an interesting dynamic. But
yeah, the way it looks right now is that if we play them, it would be in the championship game.
Yeah, but
unless there's some upsets that happen.
Right? And I'm saying we have a good chance of getting to the championship game, and I think the Packers do too.
Yeah. And now I think with that, we should segue into our next little bit, which is who do we think is in and out of the playoffs? So I think we're going to go over the teams that haven't yet clinched, and we're going to give our opinion. Do they make it, and what seed do they then make it in? So we'll begin,
15 seconds, right? Just quick, right?
Yeah, we'll just do 15 seconds really quickly. So we'll begin with the NFC. So none of the teams have clinched a position yet. So first up, Packers, we know they're in. What seed did they get? Drew?
The 1 seed.
Seth?
Muted.
You're muted, mister. Seth?
The Packers, probably the 1 seed.
You think the 1?
Yeah.
I'm going to say the 1 seed too. I think they clean up against the Bears. All right. Next up, Saints. What do they get? Tied with the Seahawks right now. They're in the 2 seed. Do they stick around in the 2 seed? Drew?
The Saints, I believe, are playing the Panthers. Panthers just come off a win, right?
Yeah.
I want the Seahawks to go to 2 seed, but I'm going to have to go Saints.
2. All right. Seth?
Saints? I think Saints with the 2 seed as well.
And I'm going to say the 2 as well. I think they clean up against Panthers. All right. So next up, Seattle. They're in the 3. Do they stay in the 3?
They stay in the 3 seed.
Well, based off of our answers, they have to be a 3.
They can't, right? Because they're not going to go to the 4. So who gets the 4 seed? Who wins the NFC East? Drew, who do you think? Who's winning the NFC East?
Go to Seth first.
Seth, who do you think is winning the NFC East? Cowboys, Washington, or Giants?
Dallas Cowboys have said it for about 7 straight weeks now when they were the worst in the East. I still said it. You guys thought I was stupid. To this day, you still call that prediction stupid. But they have a great shot. They're playing really well. All they need is a Washington football team led by possibly Alex Smith or also Taylor Heineke to lose, and they just have to beat the Giants, who have been playing bad. And they're in the playoffs, and that will happen. Cowboys.
Giants.
No.
I'm taking the Giants as well. I have to.
I think for the exact same reason that Seth has, I think Washington football team is going to choke, but I think although the Giants have been a little slow lately, I can't get past that Seahawks performance they put up, and I believe they're going to do that again this week 17.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants as well, partially because I want to believe that Dallas will win it next year, and I know what the curse means. I know that you cannot win that division twice in a row. It's just impossible.
I think
I want to believe with my heart that Dallas next year is going to be a strong contender for the Super Bowl when they get Dak, which means they can't win it this year. I have to pick the Giants to win it this year, and I think they will. I think they clean up against the Cowboys. It'll be close, but they've shown signs of being a really good football team. So I take the Giants.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Next.
So after that, we got the Buccaneers. They're currently in the 5. It would take either a loss plus a Rams win for them to get out of the 5. So do they stick around in the 5 seed?
Yeah.
Seth, you think so too? I would as well.
Yeah. I think the Rams will clean up.
This is the Buccaneers we're talking about.
Oh, the Buccaneers? Oh, the Bucs will win the 5 seed.
They'll win the 5 seed. Okay.
Sure.
So then, do the Rams keep the 6 seed?
This is where I'm not sure. So I think the Cardinals will beat the Rams, but I also believe that the Packers will most likely beat the Bears, as much as I hope the Bears beat the Packers. Most likely the Bears will lose. They're out, and that'll put the Rams at the 6 seed still, right?
That
7.
would, well, it would be the 7 if they lose to the Cardinals.
Oh, so actually the Rams will get the 7 seed then. My bad. Rams in 7, Cardinals in 6.
Yeah, Drew, what do you think? Agree?
No, I don't agree.
The Rams are playing Sean Mannion, by the way. Rams are starting Sean Mannion.
You sure not John Wolford?
Oh, my bad. John Wolford. Yeah, John Wolford.
Yes, that's what I thought. John Wolford.
And the Cardinals, is Kyler Murray available?
Kyler Murray is playing.
Kyler Murray is playing. Okay, I'm gonna give the Cardinals a win, and I believe that the Bears are going to. Yeah, they're going to lose to the Packers. So I guess the Rams are going to sneak in as a 7 as well.
So I think we're all in agreement here that that the Cardinals will get the 6, the Rams will get the 7, and the Bears will get the 8. As Seth knows, I've been back and forth on this all week. I thought the Bears were going to make it. Then I thought the Cardinals. Then I went back to the Bears. Then back to the Cardinals. Then the Bears crushed the Jags, and I was back to the Bears. Now I'm back to the Cardinals, however, because I hear
it's just funny because he's been so high in the Bears the last couple of weeks, and then they kill the Jags, and the Cardinals lose, and he's like, Cardinals are making the playoffs.
Well, and here's why. Because now that I hear that the Rams are going with Mr. John Wolford, I can't see a scenario where the Rams win that game. I really just can't.
I see a scenario where they win it, but I don't like their odds.
Yeah, I don't like the scenario is they have to really shut down Murray.
Yeah.
And they could. There's obviously a chance, but I would take – so I'm going to say, yeah, I agree with you guys. Bears will go 8-8, miss the playoffs. Unfortunate for them. Cardinals 9-7 in the number 6, and the Rams 9-7 in the number 7. All right, so really quickly,
also,
how does this shape out? Who comes out of the NFC as the Super Bowl? How does the Super Bowl? Drew, who do you think?
If you want a more in-depth analysis of what I think, go watch the other video we have on the channel right now. It's the NFL playoff predictions. But right now, I had the Packers going to the Super Bowl, beating the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. I think it's going to be a rematch of the last championship game that both these teams went to, and I think the Packers will get the best of them this time.
Seth?
Yeah, I'm not buying the Saints train like you are, Levi, and most people are. I'm going to go with the Packers making the Super Bowl as well. They're going to beat the Seahawks, as much as I really want the Seahawks to make the Super Bowl, and there's still is a pretty okay chance they do. I think they will slightly beat the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game, and they'll go on and they'll play the Chiefs, and they will definitely lose to the Chiefs. Chiefs will repeat and most likely three-peat.
All right, well, unlike the two of you, I have not bought into the Packers train yet. I've definitely bought more into him after that win against Tennessee, but I still like the Saints the most. I think they have the easiest.
We thought was good.
I think the Saints have the clearest path. Right now, it looks to me like they'll beat the 7. They get to play the 7 seed. That's easy against the Rams.
Yeah, and the Packers don't get to play anyone.
And then and then think about it, right? The Saints will probably play the Seattle, and the Packers will play Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay could upset Green Bay. I think the Saints will clean up against Seattle. I think it's probably closer than you'd expect, but I still think the Saints are better than us. And I think then the Saints will play either Green Bay or Tampa. They win that game, they go to Super Bowl. The Saints right now, I think they're the most complete roster in the NFC. The way I look at it, they're better than Green Bay because Green Bay, despite having Aaron Rodgers, I know he's better than Breeze. Saints, have better defense. I'm not going to discount that. Defense wins championships, fellas. So I got the Saints. All right. Move on to the AFC. So the Chiefs were locked into the 1 seed. Nothing to talk about there. Who gets the 2? Did the Bills stick around in the 2? I think we're pretty much all in agreement about this.
Is there a scenario where they don't?
If they lose and Pittsburgh wins, then and that could happen, right? Pittsburgh plays the Browns.
Pittsburgh is
Miami
playing
plays
Mason
Buffalo.
Rudolph. I know the Browns have a lot of COVID issues, but I still think that the COVID.
Wait,
Browns,
why is he playing Mason Rudolph?
they're resting Big Ben because they only care about the division.
They've decided that they don't care if they end up in the 3 seed. They're going to rest their starters.
So Mason Rudolph is playing.
There's not much of a benefit, I guess. So, yeah, makes sense.
I don't think that the Steelers, even against the COVID Browns, I think the COVID Browns will beat the Steelers with Mason Rudolph. So
an interesting dynamic. You have Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph facing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, a potential Walter Payton Man of the Year, right?
Yeah.
Playing
Yeah,
Mason Rudolph.
I think the Steelers probably actually win that game, but I do think the Bills will also win. So I'm going Bills with the 2 seed. So now let's talk about the Steelers just a little bit more. So they're in the 3 seed. We all think they're going to end up in the 3 seed. Do they beat the Browns this week?
No, they don't.
Drew?
Nope.
I think they will. And here's why. Because after watching the Browns lose to the Jets, I have no more faith that they will make the playoffs. Just a week ago, if you saw my power rankings, I had them at number 5. Now I have them at number 15. They are not a playoff team. They lost in the most Browns way possible, missing the playoffs by losing to the worst team in the NFL. That's only the Browns would have done that. That's what the Browns
They didn't
do.
have any of their They didn't have any of their wide receivers.
And they're not going to have them against the Steelers either.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
I think
the overall argument that they did in the most Browns way possible. Like, I feel like a lot of teams
They still should have beat the Jets. They still should have beat the Jets.
What about the Rams? What about
the Rams?
I mean, Jets.
Yeah, well, yes, the Jets, that was a trap game for the Rams, and I get it. The Jets got their 1 win. They should not have beaten 2 teams.
We're back to the trap games.
The Browns should have known that the Jets could have potential to beat them. They should have played harder in practice. They should have beat the Jets. It's unexcusable to lose to the Jets. It's unexcusable for the Rams too, and it's unexcusable for the Browns too. All right, moving on. The 4 seed. Titans, Colts, currently they're tied. Who gets the 4 seed? Who wins the AFC South? Titans or Colts? Drew, what do you think?
I forget what I picked, but I believe
And here's the thing: if both of them win, and the Titans are playing the Texans, Colts are playing the Jaguars. If they both win, Titans have the tiebreaker, so Titans will win at 11.
Titans will get in.
So yeah, I did believe I picked the Titans.
Yeah, I picked the Titans too. I think they both win this week.
And there's some interesting news. Philip Rivers said that this could be his last game if they end up missing the playoffs as a NFL player.
Wow.
And that also could mean that even if he makes the playoffs, this could be his last season. So.
And they have to win. If they lose, they're out no matter what. No matter what scenario, if they lose, they're out. And they did lose to Jacksonville in week 1, and Jacksonville's locked up the number 1 seed. They might be playing to win.
Yeah.
Or the number 1 pick, not the number 1 seed. All right, so Jacksonville could be a potential upset, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So talk about the wild card. Right now, Dolphins occupy the number 5 spot. Do they stay in the number 5 spot?
I'm gonna go with no. I have the Browns winning, which means that no matter what the Dolphins do, unless the Colts lose, the Dolphins are out, and I think the Colts will beat the Jaguars. So I think the Dolphins are out of the playoffs.
Wow.
I think.
Well, that wouldn't actually be the case, Seth. If the Browns win, no matter what the Dolphins do, if the Dolphins win, they're in. So you said no matter what they do, they'll be out if the Browns win, but that's actually not true.
Oh, really?
The Dolphins could lose and still make it if the Colts lose. But the Dolphins, if they win, they're in.
Oh, really?
If they win, they have the tiebreaker over Indy. And they play
Buffalo.
Over Cleveland.
Oh, but they play Buffalo, though, so I think that they'll lose to Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, so Drew, what do you think?
So Miami's playing Buffalo, correct?
Yeah, playing Buffalo.
I think if they play Fitzpatrick, they're gonna get the dub. I think he has some sort of weird.
They're starting Tua. Yeah.
Come back to me. You do yours first. I gotta.
All right. Well, I'm picking Miami to lose to Buffalo, but I do think that they will be in the playoffs, but not as the 5 seed. They're gonna make the 7 seed. Colts and Ravens will pass them by winning, but with the Browns losing, Miami will have the tiebreaker over the Browns, even with both of them at 10-6. That means Miami makes it as the number 7 seed, and then they have to rematch the Bills the very next week, the 2 against the 7, which will be a very interesting storyline to watch. So how about you, Drew?
Oh my goodness. I think they're gonna play Fitzpatrick at like the second quarter. I'm just gonna go off of it because I really want Fitzpatrick to play.
Yeah.
And I really want the Dolphins to make the playoffs, so I'm gonna pick them to make the playoffs and beat the Bills. I don't know.
You got them at the 5. Okay, so now the Ravens, they are currently occupying the number 6 seed. Do they stay as a number 6 seed, or do they climb? As I've said, I think they will pass the Dolphins, get to the 5. I guess we actually already know. Drew does not think they will climb. No matter whether they win or lose, will they fall? Will they lose to the Bengals and fall out of the playoffs entirely?
No, they won't.
Seth, what do you think?
No, they won't.
Yeah, and they're also like the Dolphins. They win, they're in. They play the Bengals. Should be an easy one. All right.
They
So
play the Jacks.
the Ravens play the Bengals.
Oh, the Ravens. Oh, my bad. Yes, the Ravens will definitely win.
So if they win, they're in. And then finally, the final playoff spot, does it go to the Colts or the Browns occupy the 7? The Colts are the 8. Do the Colts make it or do the Browns make it? We know what Seth says. You say the Browns, right?
Browns.
I'm going Colts.
Wait, who are the Browns playing again?
Browns play Pittsburgh. Colts are playing Jacksonville.
I'll have the Colts in.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts also. They'll make it to 11-5, yeah, and they will get the 6th seed. So I have the wild cards as Ravens are the 5, Colts are the 6, Miami Dolphins are the number 7. Seth has, what do you have, Seth? You got the the way yours would work out would be the Ravens 5, Browns 6, Dolphins 7, and the way.
Oh yeah. No, I would say Colts 7.
Colts 7, not Browns, or no, not Dolphins. But the Dolphins have the tiebreaker.
But Dolphins.
But if the Dolphins lose, yeah. So you have Colts at 7.
Yes.
And then Drew has Miami 5, Baltimore 6, Colts 7. So there we go. There's our playoff rankings. One of those teams can't make it, unfortunately for us. Don't you wish one of them could take the place of the NFC East?
Yeah, but then again, both times the losing team has made the playoffs.
Yeah,
they've won a game, so I don't know about that.
And I think we're all in agreement. Which team is the Super Bowl from the AFC? Chiefs?
Chiefs.
I'm really tempted to go Bills, but I'm gonna stay Chiefs.
All right, thank you. Chiefs all the way. All right, and
although
really quick,
they look pretty bad against the Falcons.
And really quick, before we move on to our next topic, we do want to say one more thing about the NFL. Who do you have winning the MVP, or who do you think should win the MVP?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going to say I think Aaron Rodgers will, but I think Josh Allen is the real MVP of the NFL.
What? No.
And here's why. Because his team, without him, would not be winning their division. The Packers would. The Chiefs would without Mahomes. The Packers would without Rodgers. Without Josh Allen, if you replace him with an average quarterback, Dolphins would win the division, and the Bills might not even be in the playoffs.
Derek Carr.
Take Baker Mayfield. He's the most average quarterback.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs.
Baker with the Bills would be borderline playoff team. And
they
would not win the
division. Bakers would win the division.
They would not. They would not.
Yeah, they would.
There is no way. How? The Dolphins are going to be 2 games worse than them probably, or 3 games worse. I think Baker on the Bills wins 8 or 9 games. Baker on the Chiefs wins 12. Baker on the Packers probably wins 10.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, that makes Josh Allen the most valuable to his team. He also has not as good weapons as Mahomes.
How about Baker on the Seahawks?
Baker on the Seahawks probably wins, 7, 8.
So that means that Russell Wilson is the most valuable player according to that.
That's true. Russell and Josh Allen. I think Russell and Josh Allen should be talked about more. I think that people who think Rodgers deserves it run away, or people who think Mahomes deserves it run away are wrong. It's actually a very close, super close. I think Josh Allen should be right there, and I think he's
I think this is getting kind of long, so we should move on. But just last statement. One more statement is just the MVP isn't who's most valuable; it's who's the best player, and I think that's where your logic.
For a reason.
I know, but that's not what the voters are going to vote on.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying what they're going to vote on.
Yeah. And I don't think they're going to vote on Allen. I think they will vote on Rodgers because we all know how much the sports media loves Aaron Rodgers, and they do love Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they adore Aaron Rodgers.
They adore him. They also love Mahomes, but they love Rodgers more. I don't know why, but they love Rodgers the most.
That's the joke, right?
No. The media loves Aaron Rodgers. Literally, he gets to go on with a former NFL player every week, and then whatever he says is the #1 headline on ESPN.
Aaron Rodgers is a little bit cocky, though. He said that, of course, he wants to win the MVP, which, I mean, does he want it too much? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So, with that, we got to move on to the NBA. Start of the season. Seth and I have power rankings. I'm not sure if Drew has had time to make his, but we can talk about ours and talk about.
I did make a list when you sent me it.
All right. So, why don't we just go over our power rankings, and then we can talk about where the teams lie. So, I think we do not have an averaged out, so we're going to have to go old-fashioned where we talk about them, all of us individually.
Quick.
So let's start with 30 through 26. Each of us can give our bottom
hold
five.
on. I need to fix something. Hold on.
All right. Yeah, speaking of the Blazers had a great win against the Lakers.
That was huge.
Yeah, but the Blazers are getting killed by the Clippers right now, so I just updated that they're lost this game in my power.
Yeah, oh my goodness, it got worse. 91-62. Yikes. Wow. Yeah, that's bad. Okay, so we'll start off with bottom five. I'm going to go with mine first. I have the Pistons at number 30. I think they really, really suck. They might not even win 15 games this year. I have the Bulls at number 29. I have the Memphis Grizzlies at 28. After the news about Ja Morant getting injured, I am really down on them right now. I have the Hornets at 27, Charlotte Hornets at 27, and at 26, surprisingly, they're 2-2, but I have not bought into the Knicks yet. I have the Knicks at 26.
That's fair, but the Hornets is a little bit okay. That's not bad. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, likewise, Pistons are the worst team in the NBA. They should start tanking. They suck. They're 0-4. Yeah, they're the worst team in the league. And then at number 29, I have the Bulls. Not a great team. They're 1-3, and the only wins against the Wizards, who are at number 28, who are 0-4, and they're not good either. Russell Westbrook and Beal need some help on that team. They are 2 stars on no help. The rest of their lineup is just not good. Maybe a couple of years when Hachimura develops more and Avdija, but for now, that team should keep the rebuild going. And at number 27, I have the Grizzlies. Ja Morant out for 5 weeks, probably. Jaren Jackson Jr. still out every once in a while, not playing much. That team is downhill. No more playoffs for them. Last year was their one chance. And they got a good future with Ja, though. So, and number 26, I have the OKC Thunder. They're going to be in games. They might win a couple here and there, but all in all, they're not good. They have a good future, but they're not going to do anything this year.
Okay, I have 30 Chicago Bulls.
Ahead of the Pistons.
Yeah, I don't like the Bulls. Obviously, they're 0-3. So are the Pistons. Oh, did they just win?
Yeah, they won.
Okay, maybe that would change it up, but I don't know. I'm going to stick with the Bulls at 30.
They beat the Wizards by 8 today.
Yeah, well, I don't have the Wizards super high up, so I don't know. 29 Pistons, then I have 28 the Knicks, 27 the Charlottes, and then 26 the Wizards.
All right, that's fair. You guys are very low in the Hornets, even though they have not looked bad. They beat the Mavs and the Nets, who are Nets are one of the best teams in the league.
The Hornets are 1-2, buddy.
They're 2-2. They killed the Mavs tonight.
Oh, they got a win today. Okay.
They destroyed the Mavs.
I made these power rankings in the morning, so I'm not including tonight's games in them.
Oh, okay. Well, I am, so.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
maybe I would switch the line then. I would switch my Charlottes at 27 to Charlottes at 26.
All right, because Hornets destroyed the Mavericks. Luka is playing bad. But, all right. Moving on, 25 to 20.
All right, so I'll go mine first. At number 25, I have my second favorite team, the New Orleans Pelicans. I have not bought into the Pelicans yet. I know they're 2-2, but I'm not too sure about them. I think they're definitely going to need to prove that they are more than just Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. I need to see their role players do more, so I have them at 25. Lonzo's not very good, Cody. All right, number 24, I got the Warriors. Yeah, this might come as a shocker, but I dropped them from 20 to 24 over the past couple of weeks. The Warriors, I just don't like the way they played. They lost.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I've only watched one of their games, I'll admit, but that was their first game, which they lost by quite a bit, if I remember. And then at number 23, I have Washington. I think they're better than their record says they are. Russell Westbrook has been cooking. I think with some help, they can start to get better. And
they have no help. They have no help. Their team is terrible. They have no depth. They run 9 men, sometimes 8 men. Their bench players can't play, and their starters can't play either. They have 2 good players and a okay.
And I think that those 2 good players can carry them to a decent record. Not making the playoffs, but I think they're not a bottom 5.
They have no depth and no bench. There's no way they're going far this year.
Well, yeah, I don't think they're going to go far, but I think they can at least get back to somewhat respectable, like maybe you could get 30 wins.
Yeah.
Maybe they can get respectable, but people were saying they're going to make the playoffs before this year. I was not high in the Wizards, and I'm still not high in the Wizards.
All right, and then I have 22, the Timberwolves, who have shocked me. I thought they were one of the worst teams. They're 2-2. They look kind of competitive in their games.
Yeah,
and then at number 21, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder, who is an interesting team because I think they could boom or they could really bust.
All right, well, I'll give mine, I guess, unless you want to go.
I'll go quick.
All right.
So I have 25. I have the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's fair.
I don't like where they're at. I don't know if they should tank per se.
They have a good future. They have like 35 draft picks in the next 35 years. Like that.
Yeah, so that's crazy. I have 24. I have the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, Josh hurt. Don't like that. 23. I have the Cavs, despite their record.
Wow.
Despite their record, just because.
Okay, I'm not believing in the Cavs yet, but 23 seems a little low.
I know, but I just don't like. I don't like their team. I don't know what else to say. I mean, anybody can get hot at times. The NBA, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. I don't believe in them. 22, I have the Timberwolves, better than I expected, just like Levi said. And I do have more faith in them just because they have Karl Anthony Towns. But he does have a wrist injury or something, right?
Yeah, I feel bad for that guy. He cannot stay on the floor, but he should be back soon.
Yeah, okay. And then 21, I have the Kings.
All right. Another Drew's not overreacting with the Kings either. All right. Well, I'll go. 25, I got the New York Knicks. 2-2. Yeah, they beat the Bucks by 20, but they're not going to do anything. I mean, they're still bad either way. The Spurs, 2-2. They lost to the Lakers by a lot tonight. Not a lot. It was 20 points, but they've beat the Jazz and the Pistons. They beat the Grizzlies and the Pistons, but yeah, not much future. 23, I have the Timberwolves. They're 2-2 as well, and they beat the Jazz, but they lost to the Clippers, showing they can't contend for a top spot and maybe have an outside chance at the playoffs. Other than that, not doing much else. At 20, well, that was 23, my bad. 22, I have the New Orleans Pelicans, 2-2. They beat the Raptors. They beat the Spurs. Spurs are below. Raptors are slightly ahead. And they lost to the Suns and the Heat, which is 2 good teams. So we don't know what to expect from them yet, but they could contend. And they have a great future. I'm just not sure how good this year is. And at number 21, I'm highest on the Charlotte Hornets. They have beat my top 5 team in the Brooklyn Nets. And they also have beat the Mavericks, who, even though the record doesn't show too well, still a good team. They're looking good. Terry Rozier is balling out. LaMelo Ball is finally scoring a little bit at least. Still making good passes. But everyone's stepping up, and they're just looking like a no-star team. But they might go kind of far. Not far, but they might make the playoffs with this super balanced, even, deep team.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly.
I don't know.
Well, I guess
Seth, what do you think? I'm just wondering, what do you think the chances are that the Hornets do end up finding a way into the playoffs?
I don't think they're too high because the Cavs and the Hawks are both playing really well in the East right now, and I think one of those teams has a better chance of getting the 8-7 seed than the especially Magic as well instead of the Hornets. But I think that there's
a chance.
If they keep playing well and they stay around 500 and maybe climb over 500, they could be in the playoffs come June.
I'll give them a 10% chance.
Hey. 10%?
All right.
Oh, I would say higher than that. I'd say at least 20, 25.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's get into the lower teens now. I'll kick us off. I'm sure. I'm going to just remember, I have not watched the games tonight. I have not seen the outcomes. I know a couple of these teams have finished and lost. I'm pretty sure all the teams right now that I'm about to talk about have lost today, which is unfortunate for them. But I made these in the morning, so just bear that in mind when I say this. So number 20, I have the Blazers. I thought I was low on them, but
That's
after
still way too
after
low.
after watching them get absolutely destroyed by the Clippers, I
You're
think
not watching.
I think
You're not watching.
not watching, but I've been watching the score. And after seeing them being absolutely destroyed, I think I was pretty much accurate at number 20. I think they're borderline playoffs.
No.
20, that's
20?
borderline playoffs. 19, right ahead of them, I have the Mavericks. I think Dallas, they seem like similar
So
to
you
the
just
Blazers.
overreacted way too much. The Mavericks lose a couple games and without KP, and they're now 20,
19.
19.
Well, I didn't start them out that high. I started them at 13. I've dropped them by 6, and they're 1-3 now. So I think that makes sense. Then we got number 18. I have the Jazz. I'm not really bought in on the Jazz. I think they could make the playoffs because
The Jazz at 18?
yeah.
What?
What do you got them at?
Top 10.
I don't think they're a top 10 team. Did they win again today?
They're 2-1.
Yeah, they're 2-1.
They're 2-1.
I'm not sold on a 2-1 Jazz team yet. All right.
But what did they show you last year to make them seem they're bad? Like, I don't get what you've seen.
I just when I compare them to the rest of the teams in the West, I think that they are not as good as the rest of the teams in the West.
Yeah, that's wrong. I don't know how to say it, but you're wrong.
All right. And then at 17, I think the Nuggets are better than the Jazz. I have the Nuggets at 17. You guys were very mad at me when I put the Nuggets basically at this same spot at the preseason power rankings. I put them at 17 as well. I think I don't know about the Nuggets, man. I just really don't.
I think
They're a team that last year made a really deep playoff run. I just don't see them happening again this year.
This shows how much little NBA knowledge you have. We're starting to get into your dumb predictions. You can't just look at the worst records and put them in the bottom 20.
And then at number
and you have no clue what you're talking about.
And then at number 16, I have the San Antonio Spurs. I'm the only person that seems to have any faith in the Spurs of this
Yeah,
group.
because they're not a good team. They're old. They have veterans. Not many young players. They don't really have a good future. And Popovich should retire.
Okay. I still think Paul George has it left in him.
Paul George is not on the Spurs.
Okay, I will go.
Levi, Paul George is not on the Spurs.
What team is he on?
The Clippers.
No, Chris Paul, right? He's on the Spurs.
Nope, he's on the Suns.
Oh, I always get the Suns and the Spurs mixed up.
Okay, I'll save Levi from embarrassment and go. 20, I have the Rockets. This might seem a little low. I don't know. James Harden might still wanting out, I believe, correct? Someone correct on that?
Yep, they're going to trade him.
Yeah, so I have my 20. They're probably going to drop, to be completely honest with you. 19, I have the Magic, even though they're playing really, really well. I had the Magic at like 20-something, so now they did move up a little bit. Yeah, Markel Fultz is playing pretty well.
This shows how little Drew cares about records because they're undefeated 4-0, but he puts them at 19.
Yeah, but
19 is low, but where you have them, Levi, is way too high. So I know where Levi has them, but I think the middle. Mine is perfect.
Levi, but 4-0 in the NFL and 4-0 in the NBA is like
way
so vastly different.
And I understand that. I understand that, but I think you cannot discount for it.
Can I finish my list? Thank you. Okay,
Sure.
18. I have the Golden State Warriors, led by Stephen Curry. I think they're about that really, really borderline playoff team. I don't think Stephen Curry's a concern. I think he's going to get rolling. He needs some time to warm up. My big concern is that Kelly Oubre Jr. was over 17 after 3 games. I don't know what he is now, but they definitely need him if they want to chance the rookie. I don't know how he's playing.
He's doing great. He's going to win Rookie of the Year.
He is? Okay, so that's a bright spot. Again, 18 is not bad. Okay,
and
now I have...
Draymond will be back soon.
Yeah, 17, I have the Spurs, which seems a little high, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know what to say about them.
I hate the Spurs. Spurs are disgusting.
Yeah, and I don't know why you do. Obviously, you have DeRozan, but I don't know. I'm going to have
DeRozan, but DeRozan and Aldridge can't get you anything except for the 8 seed, so there's no point to just go for the 8 seed every year. Start the rebuild.
Yeah, that's a good point, but 17 is borderline playoff team, and I think that's what they are. And then 16, I have the Hawks. Trae Young.
All right.
How well has Trae Young been playing? Honestly, I don't know.
Great. He's actually averaging second in points per game, I think, and he's top 5 in assists as well. So
his first 2 games, he had 37 and 36.
Yeah, no, he's playing great.
And it was
that team looks good.
Yeah, and 16 is an 8 seed. So yeah.
All right. Well, I will go now. At number 20, I have the Houston Rockets as well. Losses to the Nuggets and Blazers. James Harden will get traded. You guys can quote me on that later. He will get traded before the trade deadline. So all this drama, we're not sure when he'll be traded, but that is not going to do them any good. And they're going to probably end up around 500 or less. John Wall and Cousins still have not played because of COVID, unfortunately, but we still don't know what they are. If they get Ben Simmons in a Harden trade, I'm not sure what that could do for them. Maybe turn their team around a little bit, but that'll give them a better future. But for now, they're not looking great this year. They still have I still think they have a shot. If Harden keeps dropping 34 every night, 44, and 17 assists he had in the Blazers game, then obviously those stats can lead a team. He just needs a lot of help and the drama.
Okay. Next.
Number 19, I have the Toronto Raptors. This might be an overreaction, but they're 0-3 and they're playing very bad. They blew a lead to the 76ers last night. I mean, they were up 20 at the third quarter, and Siakam couldn't hit a shot. Van Vliet went cold. Lowry went cold. I mean, it was bad. Joel Embiid got whatever he wanted on them. Seth Curry lit up for 12 in the fourth quarter. Danny Green hit 4 threes in their face in the fourth quarter. Defense is what they're known for, and they did not play that very well last night, and they just went dry. They went cold. They lost to the Spurs, who I'm not high on as well, and they lost to the Pelicans, who is another questionable team. We don't know who they are. So I think this Raptors team might miss the playoffs. 19 is probably missing the playoffs, or I mean, that would be, but I'm not sure what to expect from them. They still have time to turn it around, but for now, I'm going to keep them in the late teens. And at 18, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're 3-1. They beat the Sixers, beat the Hornets, lost to the Knicks. They're fine. Darius Garland is playing great, looking like an actual 5th overall pick now. Colin Sexton is still a bucket. Andre Drummond, the best rebounder in the league. And they got Isaac Okoro's playing well. I mean, they just got a pretty well-rounded team. If Kevin Love can come back and give them old Kevin Love numbers, this team could make the playoffs, but I'm not sure. I think they're still pretenders for now. I'm not buying it quite yet. Number 17, the Golden State Warriors. Slightly missing the playoffs, I think, or maybe making the playoffs. I'm not sure. Curry's playing well. The first game, he bricked a lot of threes, but he's not the problem. James Wiseman, playing great. He'll win Rookie of the Year. Not the problem. It's Wiggins and Kelly Oubre Jr. If those guys have off nights, that team is not good. The first 2 games of the year, Oubre, like Drew said, didn't make a shot. Wiggins had 6 points and 3 points. And the third game of the year in their first win, Wiggins dropped 20-something. And he hit 2 threes and had a pretty good game, and that lit them up. And his defense. And finally, Oubre had a couple putbacks and dunks and some pretty good stuff for them. So I think if they can get that production from Oubre and Wiggins every night, which is what they were hoping for, then their team can go to the playoffs. And I'm not sure how far they can go, but maybe far. And 16, I have the Kings at 3-1. They beat the Suns. They beat the Nuggets. They beat the Warriors. And that's 3 good wins, if you ask me. De'Aaron Fox is playing great. Buddy Hield had buzzer beater. I mean, it's a good team, I think. I think they might make the playoffs, but I'm not sure how far they can go, and I'm not sure if they will make the playoffs. So I might be overreacting here, but I think 16 or late teens is fair for the Kings. And 15, are we doing 15?
What? No, we're doing 16.
Oh, okay. So stop.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Levi?
Okay.
All right. Well, I have to say I like most of yours. I think you're a lot bit too high on the Warriors, but besides that, pretty good rankings there. All right, so let's get into my 15 through 10.
You cannot talk about ranking other people's rankings, okay? You're the one that needs to get criticism.
All right, well, we'll move on to 15 through 10 for me. At number 15, I have the Houston Rockets. I'm the highest on the Rockets. I still think that if you have James Harden on your team, you have a chance. I think they're still probably going to make the playoffs. As much as I don't like Houston.
Not if James Harden's going to get traded.
If Harden gets traded, this team is not making the playoffs.
If he gets traded, though, what if they get Ben Simmons for Harden?
Yeah, if they get Ben Simmons, I think they'll be in a big enough hole that I don't think they can climb out. They might be able to, but
really,
if they make the playoffs,
you think that's how bad they're gonna be with Harden?
No, not that. I think they'll be around 500. They'll be hovering around 500. Drama, COVID, more stuff like that. And by the time they get a deal for Harden, I just think those guys won't be motivated, and they'll get a Ben Simmons guy.
But dude, if you're hovering around 500, Ben Simmons comes in, you're gonna be probably above 500. That gets you in the playoffs.
Yes, but Harden's crazy stats with average role players. What can Ben Simmons do?
He might just be better chemistry.
Ben Simmons just can't shoot either. So like,
but
Harden,
he might add more chemistry to the team.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Their ceiling is probably the 6th seed.
I think their ceiling is probably more of a 5 seed. But yeah, I think we're in agreement.
And
so,
if they end up making the playoffs, it will be a first-round exit.
I would agree with that. Yeah. All right, number 14, I have Cleveland Cavs. I'm the highest on the Cavs, man. Look, if they're 3-1, I'm not going to discount that. Like you guys probably know, I don't know enough about the NBA to really be able to analyze the rosters and stuff like that. I look at the Cavs. I see that they're 3-1. I know they have Kevin Love, who they can definitely still get some out
Kevin
of,
Love is one of their best players, by the way.
Depending on what he is late in the season. He used to be very good. I don't know, man. I feel like the Cavs, they probably won't make the playoffs. You're probably right. But for now, I have them at 14. Then at 13, I have Miami. They have struggled, but I think that they can still probably borderline playoff team.
A little low, I'd say, but.
What'd you say?
Probably a little bit low if you ask me, but.
I mean, yeah, I might be low on them. I was low on them going into the season. I never thought that they were going to be a top 3 team in that conference anyways. Now I'm not sure if they're even a top 5 team in that conference, but I still think that they're going to have a pretty good shot at the playoffs. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and of course.
Tyler Hero is the most overrated player in the league, by the way.
You think Bam's overrated?
No, Tyler Hero.
Oh, Tyler Hero.
Why Tyler Hero?
He's so good in the bubble.
He's so overrated.
You're taking a shot on my guy Hero?
He had one good game.
The bubble.
He had one good game, and he got so hyped up. And
he had plenty. Okay, whatever. He's
also Tyler Hero.
He's their third best player in my opinion.
So overrated. Duncan Robinson's better than Tyler Hero.
Now we'll go my final 2 in this. I have at number 12, Sacramento Kings. I hate the Kings. The Kings are my least favorite team. I have them at 12. They're playing good basketball right now.
You hate my Kings? Come on now. De'Aaron Fox.
And finally, at number 11.
I have the Kings like 19, so.
At number 11, just missing the top 10, the Brooklyn Nets. I have to say I'm a little disappointed. I was definitely.
Hold on, wait. Where'd you have the Kings?
I have them at 12.
Okay, that is really high. I just realized I have them at 16. A borderline playoff team. So you think this team's making the playoffs?
I think they are making the playoffs.
Wow.
And then finally at number 11, the Brooklyn Nets. I'm a little disappointed in them. I thought they were going to be, after watching They're 2-2.
They're 2. They're 3-2. And then their losses, Kevin Durant didn't play.
Oh, they won today? So they're 3-2 now.
You're
that
joking.
might affect them.
You're joking.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, I don't like that pick, Levi.
What?
Yeah.
11.
I don't know, man. I thought they were going to be really good after their first game, and then I saw them lose a couple, and now they're.
You saw Kevin Durant get low in management, and they lost 2 because he didn't play. They're resting him.
Why isn't he playing?
That's how the NBA works. The Clippers will lose 30 games because Kawhi won't play those.
And that's why Kawhi is not as good as LeBron, and that's why KD's not as good as LeBron.
LeBron isn't going to play that much either.
LeBron won't play that many games either.
He'll play more than that.
No,
he
won't.
20 games.
No, he won't.
All those guys will take off like 15 games.
LeBron will play more than Kawhi, though.
No, I don't think so.
This is how much you just look at the stats and you just look at like the wins. You don't actually look into how they won or who didn't play or what happened.
I think wins what matters the most? Wins.
Yes, but Levi, in the playoffs, let's say the Nets end up getting the 4 seed because KD didn't play a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they dropped down to 4. They're still better. They still might be better than the 3 or the 2. Just they had a couple extra losses.
This is a point of
I'm not looking to the playoffs yet, buddy. We played for 1 week. I'm not looking to the playoffs yet.
You just look at the record and you're like, okay, well they're 2-2, 3-2.
Okay.
Well, that's not true because you're gonna see that I have a winless team coming up in my top 10, so that's not necessarily true.
The Raptors in your top 10, which is actually kind of sad how bad they've been.
Well, we'll get to my top 10 in a bit.
So
it's time for Drew.
I'm gonna go now. Okay.
Yeah, turn your camera off, punk.
Yeah, go away, Levi. No, I'm joking. Okay, so here we go. 15, I have the Pelicans. I believe this is the highest out of anybody. And this is just purely because they're playing really, really solid defense. I have a stat that their first 2 wins they held their opponents under 100 points. They only did that 4 times all of last season, which I think is a really, really positive note. As well, Obviously, Zion Williamson is still really, really young. I think he's only going to get better if he stays healthy. 14, I have the Raptors. Yeah, they're playing really, really poorly. Is this just a sloppy start?
I think it is a sloppy start, but I also think that they're just not playing well, and this could carry over to the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's really hard to judge teams in the first, 2 or 3 weeks because you don't know what's an outlier and what's just a norm.
That's why the first week power.
I think they should play Malachi, though, a little more. He's had 1 minute and 0 points. So I think they should at least try him out, play the rookie. I think he might give an offensive spark, which is what they need. 13, I have the Portland Trailblazers.
That's fair.
And that's just because I think that's what they are. Last year, they obviously got the 7 seed, which is about what 13 is. Yeah. What is their record now, 2-1?
They're 2-2 now after this Clippers loss. And it's not over yet. They're down 17 with a couple minutes left.
Okay, they're 2-2, so yeah.
2-2.
Okay, and then what am I at?
Down 22 before quarter started.
I'm at 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 12, I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns. Again, don't really know what to say with this. They are now 2-2.
The Phoenix Suns are 3-1.
They're 3-1.
And they beat the Mavs, the Kings, and the Pelicans, and they've lost to the Kings.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my guns and put the Suns at 12. I need to see a little bit more consistency, and then I'll put them up higher. Again, I can't.
But they've only lost 1 game, so I'm not sure what the consistency issue is.
No, but what I mean by consistency is I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough games.
Playoffs, but yeah, we don't know what Mikal Bridges is playing very well, but we don't know if we're gonna get that all season.
And will Chris Paul's age catch up with him this year? I don't know.
I think Chris Paul is not the issue there. Chris Paul, he'll average 12 points, but he'll be a leader and he'll give them assists, and that's what they needed from him.
And 11, I have the Dallas Mavericks.
All right.
That's pretty high on them.
Doncic needs to play better, but I still believe.
All right. Well, both of you had okay. Levi's was very shaky. Drew's was fine. All right. So number 15, starting off with the Denver Nuggets. They're 1-3. Jamal Murray is sucked. He has played terrible. First game, he fouled out in 2.5 quarters. Terrible game for him. We had 6 points when he fouled out or something like that. The next game, he bricked 10 threes. He was 2 for 12 or something like that. Some crazy stat. He's been really bad. Not good. And they needed bubble Jamal Murray to be what they were last year and go to the Western Conference Finals or move on. And I thought Michael Porter could step up. Jamal Murray could be that guy. He could be a better scorer than Jokic, and Jokic could be the leader of that team. Jokic is still getting his triple-doubles. He's gotten 3 straight now. But Jamal has not played well, and that's why they're 1-3 with losses to the Kings and the Clippers and the Kings. Kings twice. And the only wins against the Rockets, and it was kind of a big win, but still.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make the playoffs, but they will not be the 3-4 seed that I thought. They will be a 6-7 seed, like I did not expect. Number 14, I have the Hawks. They're 3-1 with losses only to the Nets, who are a very good team. Trae Young is playing like an MVP right now. That team is very well-rounded, great young team, great defensive team, great offensive team. Trae Young lacks on the defensive end. You make that up with Capella, Cam Reddish, Hunter, the wings. Good wing defenders, good shooting guard defenders, just everyone but Young. And on your bench, you have Rajon Rondo to come be a good backup unit for that team. And you just have a good bench. You have good starters. You have good all-around. And that's just a good, well-rounded team that will be good in the future. And they'll get you a 6-7 seed this year as well, maybe 8 seed. At number 13, the Dallas Mavericks. They're 1-3, losses to the Hornets, Lakers, and Suns. And they beat the Clippers by 51 points, which was kind of crazy. But other than that win, they have not done much.
How many points?
51. Biggest win ever.
Jeez. What?
Yeah, but other than that win, they haven't played well. But you got to remember, this is Luka and Josh Richardson, 2 players. They don't really have Kristaps. Their center play is not good right now. They're starting Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell. So you need that. You need those guys on the bench, and you need KP to start for you. Once you get him back, you turn it around. You'll get another 7, 6, 5 seed, maybe even sneak up to the 4 seed if you play very well. But they got to turn it around, and I think they will. Number 12, I'm not overreacting too much, but I'm not underreacting as much as Drew. The Magic at 12. They're 4-0. They'll make the playoffs, I think. They'll get back into the playoffs. Oh, they made it last year at the 8th seed. They beat the Heat, they beat Thunder, and they beat the Wizards twice. What were you going to say? Speak.
No, yeah, I was agreeing with you that, last year they made the playoffs. Do you have them going higher than that?
I think they'll get a 7 or 6 seed this year, but I'm not sure what to expect so far. If Vucevic can keep playing well and they can get Markelle Fultz to actually look like a star, like a good point guard, and they get Terrence Ross on the bench unit, they get Aaron Gordon, who's finally becoming something. And then even Jonathan Isaac, he's been probably will be out for half the year, but he is their best player. If they can get Jonathan Isaac back.
What are their draft picks looking like?
They drafted Cole Anthony, who is looking pretty well as a backup point guard right now.
Okay, so if Markelle Fultz starts to play bad, they at least have somebody to lean on.
And they have Michael Carter-Williams who's stepping up a little bit. I mean, they just have a pretty well-rounded team. They are one big star away from winning this championship. If they can go out and trade some of their young guys or veterans and a couple picks for a star, this team could win the championship. But as of now,
dang, I think it's a little bit of an overreaction, but yeah, continue.
All right, well, moving on, we got the Trailblazers at 11. I don't know how I feel about them after this loss to the Clippers down by 20, but the Clippers are a very good team, and we beat the Lakers, beat the Rockets. Jazz beat us. That was not a great game, but Dame's still feeling out his new teammates. Robert Covington is still building his own here. He's starting to get his shots. He's bricked a lot, but he'll make his threes eventually. Gary Trent playing well, start the season. Had a 27-point game against the Lakers. Hit like 12 threes. Lakers hit like 12. Not 12. Hit like 7 or 8 threes. McCollum, third in the league in scoring so far. Playing great. I just think we have a solid team, and this could be a real contending year for us. Maybe a top 4 seed like a couple years ago. And maybe a deep playoff push if Dame can start doing what he did last year and putting up 30, 40 every night. And if these role players, Derrick Jones Jr., who locked up LeBron James, looking so great for us. I'm so happy about Derrick Jones Jr., honestly. And I think if Harry Giles could start getting some time as well. Zach Collins, that's a tough loss for us. But I think we can bounce back from this loss. And once we step it up and find our chemistry rhythm together, this team could go far. And number 10, I have the Phoenix Suns. Oh, wait, no. I'm going to have to read 10,
No,
right?
you're good there. You're good there.
All right, number 10. Wait, really? 15, 14, 13, 12, 11.
Yeah.
So, Levi, you're up.
Alrighty, so I have to say, I totally understand what you guys did there. Obviously, I have some disagreements, but we'll get into those later. So, number 10, I have Phoenix Suns. I think.
All right, that's what I had too.
The big thing about the Phoenix Suns is when Chris Paul and Devin Booker are cooking, they are a good team, and they're 3-1 right now, and they look kind of scary. I think they have a chance at going far in the West, maybe even getting a top 3 seed there. So I like the Suns a lot, and I've been high on them since the start of the season. Right. Then we got number 9. I have the Raptors. Here's my proof that I don't care just about record, because I have the Raptors at 9. Why do I have them at 9? I love their top 3 players.
Why do you love that? Why do you have Raptors at 9?
Because of Lowry, Van Fleet, and what's his name?
Pascal Siakam,
yes, Spicy P, that's him. When they have Spicy P, Lowry, and Van Fleet, those 3 are a serious combination. With those 3 plus Kawhi, they were in the finals. So I have to put the Raptors in my top 10. I respect those 3 players a lot, and I think once they get Malachi in there, they're going to become one of the best teams.
He's averaging
Malachi is winning Rookie of the Year. Mark my words, okay?
Malachi has not played, and he has not scored.
He will. Once they start playing him more, he'll win Rookie of the Year. Don't worry.
And by the way, Siakam actually has okay stats, 19 points a game, 9 rebounds, but he has a lot of bad shots towards the end of games and turnovers, and Joel Embiid just bullied him to end that game. So he cannot be having that defense when he's known for his defense. And Fred VanVleet's got to start making shots and start closing out games because he is probably the future.
This year their stats don't look very good, but in previous seasons they've proven they're a good team.
And Kyle Lowry's still a dog, and I'm not sure if he can do enough to get that team far.
How old is he? He's like 37 or
35, 36, yeah.
All right, let's move on. At number 8, I have the Indiana Pacers. Pacers look really good right now.
He's 34.
What'd you say?
He's 34.
34. Okay, he's a little younger than I thought.
Number 8, I have the Pacers. Pacers look really good right now. 3-1. I like what they've been playing. I don't know if they'll be able to keep it up. I don't know. Sabonis isn't that top of a player. Who else they have? Oladipo, Brogdon. So they have some good players. I feel like the Pacers they're middle of the pack team in the East. I think they will make the playoffs. I think right now I would take them over the Raptors. I'd honestly take them over the Nets. That's why I have them at 8 and I have the Nets at 11. So I have the Pacers at number 8. Number 7, I still think they're not as good as the Celtics or the Celtics or whatever you want to call them.
What is he talking about?
Definitely.
Oh my gosh.
I think there's a gap. There's a big gap for me between 8 and 7. I think my top 7 teams are the teams that I think have a shot at winning the championship, and I think after that, the rest of the teams do not have a shot. So number 7 is.
You don't think the Nets have a shot?
You don't think the Nets have a shot at the championship?
Not right
What
now.
are you joking? You're joking, right? You're joking.
I'm not joking.
Okay, we've
Oh
already
my
heard what Seth has to say. Let's move on.
All right, so at number 7, I have the Boston Celtics. This is where, like I said, these are the 7
What?
right now that I think have a shot at winning the championship. Celtics at 7. And then at number 6, I have Philadelphia 76ers just outside the top 5. The 76ers are a team that I think could really go off, and they're just beginning to get good, 3-1, and I think that they have a shot at definitely getting contending for the top seed in the Eastern Conference. So you guys are going to notice that there's 2 teams that you guys are really low on that I'm very high on. So that's all I'm going to say. Drew, take it away. Your next 5.
My next 5. Seth, I think you should go first.
You want me?
Yeah.
All right. So number 10, I will agree with Levi for once. The Suns at number 10. Yes, they are looking great. Devin Booker is their main scorer, and Chris Paul, they do not need as much from him. All he needs to do is go out, get them 10, 12 points, and pass the ball and be a leader, and that's what he's done so far. I think he's averaging like 10 points a game. So he'll get the assists, and he'll be the leader that he will be. He'll not put up the points, but he'll be clutch. As we saw, he had a big bucket to close out the Mavs game in his 8-point game, though. So he'll be clutch. He'll be a leader. That's all they ask from him. That they need Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and Cam Johnson to be their rest of their team. Cam Johnson, and Mikal Bridges are their defense, but Mikal Bridges is averaging like 18 a game, and he's playing great, and he's hitting shots. He's looking like their third option, and if he can keep that up, this team could go very far. Ayton will grab the rebounds, he'll block shots, and he'll get you some paint buckets, and Cam Johnson is out there for his perimeter defense, and Jay Crowder on the bench as a kind of a spark plug 3-and-D player. He had 20 there tonight, which is helpful. So this team could be scary. I'll agree with you right there. Number 9, I'm not overreacting yet. The Heat at 2-2. I still think they're a very good team. Levi had them way lower, I think, but they beat the Bucks and they beat the Pels. They lost to the Bucks and they lost to the Kings, or lost to the Magic. And their loss to the Bucks is brutal. They couldn't stop the 3-ball. Bucks broke the record for threes in a game, but they're still a very good team, I think. Tyler Hero is very overrated, and if they were to trade for Harden, he would be the guy in that trade.
Why is he overrated?
Because he had 2 good games, and he's averaged like 12 points in his career. Like last year, he averaged like 12 points a game. And this year, everyone's just talking about how good he is, and he has like a 10-point game. I mean, look at his stats. He had 1 good game, I think, so far this year. And Duncan Robinson is a Tyler Hero, but better. Yes, he's not as athletic, but he is a better shooter, and he will knock down the shots. Tyler Hero is averaging 15 right now, and he averaged 13 last year. I just think that Tyler Hero, all-star, trade him for Harden. I think they're going to need to put way more in the package to get Harden than Tyler Hero. But I would keep Duncan and trade Hero for Harden if they were to do that. And I don't think they should. I think they should just keep this team. Bam will become better. Obviously, Hero and Duncan will get better. Dragic, he's got about 2 more really good years left in him. And Jimmy Butler, he was not in the game when they lost to the Bucks, so that hurt them. And when he was in the game, they beat the Bucks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the team's still good. 2-2 and wins over the Bucks, and Drew's pretty high in the wins over the Pelicans. So this team's a good team. They'll make the playoffs. I'm not sure about finals again, but I think they have a chance. Number 8, I think this might be, they're finally a real contender for once. The Indiana Pacers. For the last, 5 years, they have been a make the playoffs, losing the first round team. Every single year. And
Even
I think
with Paul George.
I think with Paul George as well. I think I guess they lost. They made it a couple times to the LeBron James teams, but still, I think this is the year. If Oladipo comes back to his all-star form, which he's starting to show glimpses of that, this team could go far. Sabonis is a stud all-star, looking very well, putting up big numbers, and he's actually looking more of a passing big man as well, which is huge. They have a player that can score in the post, get all the rebounds, and now he's passing from the paint and setting up guys like Brogdon for threes and Aaron Holiday, who's hitting threes. They got Doug McDermott coming off the bench hitting threes. They just have good shooting. TJ Warren is now driving the lane bubble. He is probably overrated from the bubble, but he still is a good NBA player, and he'll get them transition. He'll get them pull-up threes, and he is their main ISO guy. He will be the guy that will take their shots to end games until Oladipo comes back to all-star form. And Oladipo, once he gets back, I mean, he's still doing good, but once he gets better, this team could go really far.
Yeah. I like the Pacers too. I mean, you guys will see, but was that 7 or 6?
That was 8.
Oh, that was 8. Okay, so continue.
All right. Number 7, Utah Jazz. They've only played 3 games, so we don't know too much yet, but Donovan Mitchell is a great player, one of the best in the league. They beat the Blazers and they beat the Thunder. Lost to the T-Wolves, but I think if Mitchell plays well, Gobert can get the rebounds and play some defense, this team will be very good, and they'll get another 4, 5 seed, maybe even 3. And I think this year they will get past the first round probably. I don't know.
Where did you have the Jazz at, Levi? Like 18?
Yeah, he had them way too low.
18.
Donovan Mitchell is one of the best players in the league. They have shooting from Bogdanovich. They have Gobert. They have good defense in Royce O'Neal. On the bench, they have Ingles who can pull up. They just so many threes against the Blazers. They just won like a good team. And if Mitchell can go back to last year, where he consistently puts up 30 or 25, then this team will be very good. And number 6, I have the Boston Celtics. They're 3-2. Beat the Bucks, beat the Pacers, beat the Grizzlies. Lost to the Pacers and lost to the Nets. Kemba, when he comes back, this team will be so good. This might be my finals pick. I don't even know yet, but Peyton Pritchard is now looking like a spark plug from that bench, coming off the bench and pulling up from deep. Oregon man, hitting threes. And I think once Kemba gets back, he'll be taking the backup point guard role instead of Jeff Teague. And Jason Tatum is looking like a best top 10 player in the league. Jaylen Brown looking like a great young star. Shut up, Alexa. Gordon Hayward left them, but they got Marcus Smart filling his role, and he's just doing great with his defense and hitting shots. And their center play, they have who did they end up getting? I know they have Robert Williams. Oh yeah, Daniel Tice is their starter, which is not great, but they got Tristan Thompson and Robert Williams, so they have fine center play, a 3-man rotation there. And I just think this team's very good, especially when they get Kemba back. This team will be scary good, and that's why they barely cracked, or they nearly miss out on the top 5 for me.
Okay, so I guess I'll do mine. I'm just gonna go 10-1. Obviously we do have to speed this up because we still have baseball trades and college football playoffs, and I gotta go soon. So I'm gonna do my just 10-1 right here now. So 10, I have the Denver Nuggets. I think they have potential to go back to form to be a contender. Again, this is a small sample size. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just small sample sizes right now. But what I'm seeing right now, they're a top 10 team, but very, very borderline. Okay, 9, I have the Indiana Pacers. I'm not going to be a broken record. Same things what Seth said. 8, I have the Utah Jazz. Same thing as Seth said. Again, I think Goddard is super, super, super important. If he plays like a defensive player of the year, I think that team can be really, really good. They obviously are already really, really good. And I think they're proving that despite their record, what's the record right now?
They're only 2-1. They're 2-1.
They're 2-1. So not great, not bad.
Played 3 games, so.
No, yeah, I know, but not great, not bad. 7, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. New coach, obviously. You have Joel Embiid. Doc Rivers, I think, has done a really, really good job so far. I don't know what he's going to do late in the season. In the playoffs, he didn't look great, obviously. Was not able to turn around that team and get that final fourth win, which is kind of concerning. But right now I'm not talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about the regular season. 6, I have the Boston Celtics. Same thing with Seth said. They're really, really solid. I think they have potential to win the whole thing if everyone is hot and healthy in the playoffs. 5, I have the Miami Heat, which is the highest, I think, out of anybody, but or I don't know what Levi has. Or Levi, did you already say the Heat? You did. So highest, I think Jimmy Butler is really
like 13, I'm pretty sure.
I think Jimmy Butler is a top 10 player, and when he plays really, really well, he's a top 3 player, I think.
Are you joking?
And
Jimmy Butler? No way.
Did you see him in the playoffs? Did you see him in the playoffs?
He's like 12,
you can't take
13.
just the playoffs. Blow it out of
I said when he's hot. He's a top 3-5 player, and I think he's a top 10 player. I love Jimmy Butler.
Top 10? No way.
When he's hot, when he's hot, he's top 10. When he's
I can name 10 players who are better.
I love the chip on the shoulder he plays with. Obviously, you have Hero, who's really, really good. Duncan Robinson. This team can shoot the ball, and then Jimmy Butler leads it with Bam. I mean, that is so scary.
And Avery Bradley came in and he's locking up.
Yeah, so Avery Bradley's also shooting the ball well, playing good defense.
Up.
If they do a move at the trade deadline, this team is super, super scary. They have another shot at winning the whole thing this year. 4, I'm going to have the Nets. KD obviously is playing super well. You have Kyrie Irving, and this team is only going to get better. It's kind of the same argument as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have to give them time to get some chemistry flowing and stuff. And, I mean, I love the Nets. I think, again, all of these top 6, 7 teams have a really good shot at winning the whole thing. Number 3, I have the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's because I believe Giannis is going to win MVP for the 3rd straight year. Their record isn't looking great for a top 3 team right now, but again, it's a really small sample size. I can't overreact too much. I think if Giannis plays like MVP form in the playoffs, man, that's gonna be scary because I think Giannis is the best player in the league. Okay, now you have No, I think he's better than LeBron James.
We can have this debate a different day, but LeBron.
Yeah, different day. Okay. 2, we have the LA Clippers. Love the Clippers. I think that the same thing that happened in the playoffs is not going to happen again. People thought they were the best team in the league for a lot of the season last year. They had a bad performance in the playoffs, and now people I'm going to say they hop off the bandwagon, but they're definitely less hyped. I think Kawhi is still a really, really amazing player. Last year, people were arguing him the best player in the NBA. And I still think he has that right to be in that conversation. Do I think he's the best player? No. I think he's probably the 3rd, 4th best, somewhere around there. And then number 1, you have the LA Lakers. I can't drop them, even though they do have a couple losses. They're still my favorites to win the whole thing.
All right, Levi, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it away. Number 5, I'm going with the Los Angeles Clippers. I think they're the biggest threat to the Lakers in the West, but I still think the Lakers are better. The Clippers have been playing good. I'll give them that. And I like the way they've been playing. Beating the Lakers was definitely a statement win, I think, but I have to put the Lakers ahead. So I'm giving the Clippers at 5. Number 4, you guys are not going to like this, but Hawks at number 4.
Okay, hey, buddy. Did you just look up NBA Power Rankings and go to NBC Sports?
I did not.
Wait, Dave, the Hawks at 4? He's frozen, but wait, Levi, that is really dumb. Like, yes, Trae Young is playing really, really well, but 4?
Well, I'm looking up their record right now. Oh, what is it? Undefeated.
Nope. They're 3-1.
Did they lose tonight?
They lost.
Okay, well, like I said, I made these in the morning. I love Trae Young, and you guys know I'm a Bogdanovic
Guess
fan.
what, buddy? The Nets beat them today. So the Nets, the Nets have no chance.
That'll definitely help me with the Nets. That'll help the Nets standing with me. That'll help them.
You're dumb if you think the Nets are. Oh my God.
I'm going Trae Young, Bogdanovic. I think they're 2 of the better players. in that conference. Trae Young, I think, could become the best player in the
Bogdanovich is one of the better players in that conference.
Bogdanovich is very good.
When you think of the Hawks, do you think of Bogdanovich? Like, he's good,
That's what
but
I think of. Young and Bogdanovich.
huh.
All
That's
right.
funny.
Hey, I don't know why you're laughing.
Yeah, you do you, man.
All right, number 3. We got
Because
the
number
Milwaukee
4
Bucks. I know they're only 2-2, but
Nope, they're 2-3.
did they lose again? Okay,
Lost to
again,
Miami.
I made these in the morning. I haven't seen the games today. Stop correcting me. It's not my fault.
Yeah, Seth, stop correcting him.
Bucks are 2-3 apparently, and
Jokes.
yeah, I mean Giannis. I'm not going to discount him yet. I think there's a little bit to worry about there that they haven't got hot yet, but they still have a chance at being the best team in that conference. But right now, I like the Orlando Magic a little bit better. I have the Magic at number 2.
Dude, this guy overreacts so much.
Oh my God, this guy.
And the funny thing is, I only know 3 of their players, right? I know Fournier and I know Vucevic. And
the funny thing is, I don't know anything about them. That's so funny.
But you know what? At 4-0, my goodness, the Magic is surprising me so much, and I have to put them at number
4
2.
games in.
They have the
They can
best
lose
record
4
in the
straight
NBA.
just as easily.
I'm not going to discount the best record in the NBA. And
That's a 4
I'm looking at who they've beaten. I'm looking at who they've beaten right now. It looks to me like the Orlando Magic, who apparently 4-0 doesn't matter. They beat the Heat, who went to the finals last year. They beat the Thunder, who have been in
who suck, and the Wizards, who suck.
The Wizards, in my opinion, do not suck as much as you guys think.
Yes, they do.
And by the way, if you look at the Thunder, didn't they just lose by 1 to a good team the other day? Yeah,
Yes,
they
but
lost by 1 to the Jazz.
Yes, but the Thunder is still not a good team.
Okay, I gotta move on, guys.
The Thunder will be in. Okay.
All right. Well, at this point, like I said, I think Magic is good, and I think they have a couple of good wins under their belt to prove it. But we'll have to talk about this later. Number 1, the Lakers, of course. They're the best team in the NBA, no questions asked. So
yeah, just in front of the Magic. Okay, Seth.
All right, number 5, 76ers. Like you said, Doc Rivers helped that coaching, and they finally built a team around Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons that can shoot. Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris playing well, and yes, they're looking very well. If they can keep the shooting up, great comeback over the Raptors today. I like this team a lot. Finals contenders. Number 4, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo go back to MVP form. If Middleton and Holiday can hit their shots every night like they have not so far, but like they had in that blowout win. DiVincenzo step up, very underrated player. Brook Lopez, he keeps playing well. This team could very well go to the finals, and this might be their year. Number 4, I have the Clippers. Or number 3, I have the Clippers. They're now 3-1. They beat the Timberwolves. Then they beat the T-Wolves, the Nuggets, and they beat the Blazers. And they lost to the Lakers, and they got killed by the Mavs. Or never mind, they beat the Lakers. My bad. So they beat the Lakers, and they lost to the Mavs by a lot. But it's one bad loss, so I think this team very well. Adding Nicholas Batum and Luke Kennard, great depth, and Nicholas Batum is starting. Serge Ibaka, now your center. Clippers from Tris Harrell, not a big deal. Both maybe better than Montrez. It's questionable. Kawhi Leonard, he'll be great every night. Paul George has had one terrible game against the Mavericks, but other than that, he's played well. I know he gets a lot of hate, but he's still not a bad player.
No, he's a borderline star.
No, yeah, this team will be a finals contender for sure. And number 2, I have the Brooklyn Nets. They are the best team in the Eastern Conference. Kyrie Irving is playing. Kyrie Irving
is the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Kyrie Irving is playing like the best point guard in the NBA. He's
at least the Bucks are better.
Kevin Durant looking great. He's having
at least the Bucks are better. 76.
I don't like the Kyrie best point guard in the league.
And Boston.
No, he's playing like the best point guard in the league.
They're the 4th best. They're the number 4 team in that conference at best.
No, I don't care what you say. You're dumb, okay? Shut up.
They're not better than the Bucks. How are they better than Bucks?
Kevin Durant come back from injury, putting up 27 a game. He's shooting 70% from the field, which is insane. That's what a center shoots. And he's playing smooth. He's playing like he never tore his Achilles, and he's looking great. He's actually playing better defense than he ever did so far. So
he has a lot of haters to prove wrong. I think he is.
Yes, and also I love their depth. Karis LeVert is such a good player. He is a star.
Is he coming off the bench? He's not off the bench.
No, he's not. But
No,
he is a star on a bad team right now. This guy would be an all-star if he was on the Knicks. He is very good. And if they did not have these other stars, he would be so well. Jared Allen is playing super well as a center role, getting the rebounds, getting blocks. He's bringing that defensive energy to the team, and he's a good young player. Joe Harris can shoot the lights out, does not miss. DeAndre Jordan is a good veteran bench leader for this team. And Torian Prince come off the bench, hit some threes. This team is very good. I really like this team. And they probably will. This might be my finals pick for the East. Very good team.
Where do you have them start of the year?
I had them at 4.
So
and I still do not think that they are nearly as good as Milwaukee.
They passed up the Bucks and they passed up. Oh, they just passed up the Bucks, yeah, and the Clippers. Okay. And number 1, the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, 3-2. They'll get together. Great players. Montrez. They just added so many pieces. Weston Matthews. I can't even think of some other guys. Kuzma's playing really well. Dennis Schroeder's the big one. I mean, this Marcus Gasol, this team's really good.
Jeez. You add Dennis Schroeder too. Damn. They're really good.
This team's really good. So I think they'll still probably win the finals, but we'll see.
Right now, finals winner, Levi.
I don't want to say Lakers, but Lakers.
How will you other than Lakers? Because I think we're all picking Lakers.
You can't pick
Lakers. Orlando.
You can't predict
Orlando. I'm gonna take the Magic. Just because.
I'm gonna take the Clippers to beat the Lakers.
First off, you can't pick a finals winner through 5 games or 3 games, 4 games.
No, but you might as well try your best.
Dumb, but if not, I will go with the Los Angeles Clippers. Brooklyn Nets will win the finals if the Lakers did not exist.
Okay, I'm gonna say Clippers. Levi, I don't think we should really come. Yeah, I don't know. I
respect the Clippers pick. I'm not sure about the Nets. I like the Magic a lot.
So let's continue this debate later. We're going to be trying to release these weekly. Yes. We haven't set a day yet, but I think one of my New Year's goals is to be more involved in the NBA. I'm sure Levi's is too.
Oh, no, I'm going in the NHL this year. Sorry, NBA.
Oh, okay, NHL, whatever.
Yeah,
I'll pay attention. Hey, at least I know
Kraken, especially with the Kraken,
team, which I didn't used to, except for the Spurs and the Suns.
Good for you. Good for you. Okay, let's continue. Levi, I do need to go soon, but apparently you have some MLB trade rumors.
Not rumors, actual news.
Trades.
So the Padres are
Blake Snell.
The Padres are stacking up. Blake Snell going to the Padres later that day. They announced that they're getting.
Damn, I want Blake Snell
as well. So Padres, and these are some incredibly humongous trades. Let me look at them. They shipped basically all of their prospects are gone now.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting Luis Patino, Blake Hunt, Cole Wilcox, and Francisco Mejia. That's who's going to the Rays, and or that's who's going from the Padres to the Rays, and then to the Cubs. They are going to be getting Zach Davies, Owen Cassie, Reggie Preciado, Ismael Mena, and Yeson Santana, a bunch of younger guys, and they are also getting Victor Caratini from the Cubs. So the Padres look stacked right now. Their pitching rotation looks stacked. They're clearly going all out to get second place in the NL West. I don't think they're still not going to beat the Dodgers in that division, but they're going to come close. And what do you guys make of this? Do you think the Padres can be real World Series contenders? I think they can.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that they could. Adding pitchers is kind of what they needed, and if they can get production from Tatis again, like they did last year, this team can make far.
Yeah, and it's interesting what Blake Snell. The interesting thing about that is Snell had made previous comments about how he thinks that the Rays are dumb for trading their stars to get young prospects, and now he's been traded to get young prospects. So it's I think karma might have come back.
I do think the Rays are stupid. You're in a win now mode, in my opinion, but I guess they don't feel that way.
I mean, it is interesting because they just were in the World Series. They took the Dodgers to 6 games. It's crazy that now they've decided, let's get rid of our ace. But yeah, now they've got the Padres getting Darvish, getting Snell. This is scary. And they also have They have Chris Paddock, who had a really great 2019. And they have Dinelson Lamet, who broke out last year. So they now have pretty much 4 pitchers who I would consider to be potential aces.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. I mean, this is rivaling the Nationals with Scherzer and Strasburg. This is rivaling the Mets with Jacob deGrom. This is rivaling the Yankees even with Garrett Cole and Severino. I mean, this is a serious pitching rotation.
Yeah, that's a problem for everybody. For everybody. I really thought that Blake Snell had a chance to go into the M's. The Mariners prove again to me that they don't sign anybody over the offseason and they don't really want to win. And they're just kind of hoping that young players do well. Sucks to suck, I guess. I think the Padres are a serious threat. We'll be releasing our MLB power rankings in the upcoming months, and I have a feeling that they will be really high.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, the free agent market going super slow. None of the top guys have gone yet. Springer, it's being reported that it's down to 2 teams, Mets and Blue Jays. Who do you think he goes to, the Mets or the Blue Jays? The Mets can pay him more, but it sounds like the Blue Jays is a better fit for him, whatever that seems to mean. So what do you guys think? Mets or Blue Jays getting George Springer?
Mets.
I'm going to go Blue Jays. I think they're going all out this year.
Seth is muted.
I don't really follow too much MLB. Like MLB is so intimidating, like as much Levi, but I'll just think he'll go to the Blue Jays.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so that's basically the news in the MLB. It's been a very slow offseason. I think COVID is probably a part of that. Usually the top free agents have already signed before Christmas. This year it's going to be New Year's, and they still haven't signed yet. So very interesting. I think there's part of that is they're just waiting to see what's the season going to be like. Are the owners going to let us play the whole season? What do you guys think is the situation with that? Really quick, does the MLB manage to play a 162 full game season? I'm going to give my answer. I don't think they will. I think the owners are too stubborn to let them.
I don't think they will either, but I think the owners are pretty dumb.
You agree with me, Seth?
Yeah, I don't think they will, but I think the owners are dumb and the players might get mad.
Yeah, the owners are very dumb, and the fact that you have billionaires who are telling these players to take their pay cuts and not able to not able to play their full game season unless they take substantive pay cuts. I think that's ridiculous, and I really hope I can watch a full season of baseball after last year only getting 2 months.
Yeah, I don't want to continue with that much, but I think they're going to get 2/3 of the season in around that. Depends how good this vaccine ends up having.
Yeah, really that's the key because you want the owners really want fans in the stadiums. Unlike the NFL, they're not getting as much revenue from the TV.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so at this point, we've covered MLB, NFL, NBA. It's time for the college football playoffs, right? We finally made it. College football season, it's over, basically over. I think there's a couple more bowl games, and then at the playoffs. So, do you guys agree? First of all, do you guys even agree with these top 4 teams? Because personally, I'm still a little bit confused on how a 6-game team, Ohio State, is even allowed to make it. But I guess they bended the rules, let them play the game championship. Now Ohio State's in the 3, which I personally think Texas A&M should be there either instead of Ohio.
I'm with Dabo Sweetie. Dabo Sweetie says Ohio State's not a top 10 team. Ohio State does not deserve to be in the top 4 teams. They beat one Indiana team, and they're just Ohio State, so that's why they're in. The only reason they're in is because of their name. Ohio State, put them in.
Yep.
6-0, whatever. Man, this team is not good, honestly.
All right, Drew, what do you think?
Texas A&M is better than them, and honestly, Texas A&M probably should have gotten over Notre Dame as well after that blowout loss to Clemson.
I think so too. If I was doing the rankings,
been in the Final Four.
If I was doing the rankings, I would put Alabama 1, Clemson 2. I would put A&M 3.
And by the way, if you were wondering, Oklahoma just beat Florida by 30.
Wow. Oklahoma's a good team too. All right.
What's the question, Levi?
I guess the question is, do you agree with the top 4? Because Seth and I both don't.
Well, obviously, I don't agree with the top 4 because I think that Cincinnati should be in the top 4. Obviously, they would never do that. But yeah, I think the top 4 is right, other than Cincinnati.
Wow, A&M should have been in over Ohio State or Notre Dame.
Yeah, A&M should have.
Why A&M?
A&M had one loss. It was Alabama.
One loss, and it was to the number 1 team.
And who
beat a lot of
who did Ohio State lose to?
Ohio State has not lost.
But they played 6 games.
They've only played 6 though. They played 4 less games.
Well, what do you want them to do?
Put Ohio State in. That's what I want them to do. Take Ohio State out.
What do you want Ohio State to do
Ohio
about
State crapped the bed in that Northwestern game. Honestly, they played so bad in that game. Somehow they still won by 20.
Or keep Ohio State, but take out Notre Dame for getting
destroyed. Or Notre Dame, who got destroyed by Clemson. I think that A&M deserved to be in the Final Four over one of those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
All right, so now let's give our predictions.
If Hunter was on the show, he'd be so mad at me and you right now, Levi, but...
Yeah. All right, let's get into our predictions. I'll give mine first. So right now, I don't think it's very difficult. Clemson and Alabama are going to win. I'm not going to go ahead and pick an upset. As much as I hope Notre Dame will win it, I don't think they will. I don't think they really even stand much of a chance. So I'm going to take Alabama versus Clemson to be the finals. And in that game, I'm going to take Alabama to win it.
I have the exact same prediction.
Clemson has the better quarterback, but Alabama has the better coach. Alabama, I think, ultimately is the better run program, although it is very close. But I would take Nick Saban to win another national championship. He's proven he can do it so many times. And as much as it pains me to say it, but I don't like Alabama that much, I'm going to take Alabama to win. Hopefully Notre Dame proves me wrong. I'm rooting for the upset, but yeah, Alabama, I'm going to take them to win.
Seth, go ahead.
All right, well, Ohio State has never beat Clemson ever, so I don't think it'll change. As much as I want to say, even though Ohio State doesn't deserve it to be here, I think there is a chance to pull off an upset. And I think it could be a close game, similar to last year. It was 29-23.
It's going to be a close game.
29-23 was the final last year, and coming down to the wire. I think that Ohio State will lose in a very tough, close game, and showing people that they deserve to be there. And they will fight till the end, and they will prove that they deserve to be there, even though I don't think they should have been. They might prove me. And I think that Alabama will cruise over Notre Dame, and Alabama will beat Clemson in the finals.
I'm going to have Notre Dame losing to Alabama by like 20 points. I think Alabama's going to take care of business. Notre Dame obviously had that signature win over Clemson, but I think people, maybe they're not forgetting, but obviously that was without T-Law, and I think that's huge. T-Law is the best player in in the college football, the whole thing. And I think he's going to be one of generational talent going to the NFL. And then if you look at the 2 and 3, I think Ohio State, again, like Seth said, has a chance of pulling offset, but they're not because of T-Law. Trevor Lawrence is going to now play Alabama in the finals, and I think Clemson, after losing last year's championship game, is going to win this year's against Alabama. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to ride off into the sunset in a really, really hard-fought game that I think might even go into overtime.
All right. Well, Heisman predictions?
What?
Heisman predictions? Mine's
Mac Jones. I'm going to say Mac Jones.
Nope, it'll be Devontae Smith.
I don't really know.
Devontae Smith will win the Heisman.
I can't really see them giving it to a receiver.
Nope, they will. He just won AP Player of the Year.
Huh.
He will win the Heisman. And he deserved it. He had one of the best receiver seasons ever for college. So
right now, the odds are minus 170 Devontae Smith, plus 170 Mac Jones, and plus 1,900 Kyle Trask.
No, yeah, Mac Jones will come in second. Two Alabama guys, but it'll be Devontae Smith.
I guess I'll go with Devontae Smith too. I've got to go. Anything else we need to talk about, Levi?
I think it's fine. Me and Seth, we're going to do our NFL predictions. If you want to stick around really quick for those, you can.
I really got to go.
All right. That's fine then. Seth and I will do those.
Right. Obviously, I have my predictions. Did I send them to you, Levi? My power rankings, did I send them to you?
Well, you've already posted them.
But if you guys just want to talk. Okay, yeah. And if you want to compare mine to you guys, never mind. Okay, anyways, I'm going to go. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I'm sure you two will continue the show great. So, yeah, I'm going to see you guys later. Peace.
All right, Seth. So do you want to do the predictions first or power rankings first?
Let's go power rankings.
All right, let's go really quickly. We'll just go down in order. So who's your 32?
Jaguars.
Mine is also the Jaguars.
They suck.
Yeah, they're bad. They might actually try against the Colts, though.
They're going to get T-Law.
Let's hope they don't mess it up.
There's no way they'd mess it up. They've guaranteed Trevor Lawrence.
They could pick somebody bad. They've made bad picks before.
If they want Trevor Lawrence, they can have him.
But remember, this is the same team that chose Blake Bortles. So.
Okay.
All right. 31, who do you have?
I still the New York Jets after two good wins. I still have the Jets.
Yeah, me too. I mean, no matter which way you slice it, the Jets have the second worst record. They do have two pretty good wins, but they also have a bunch of bad losses as well. So Jets at 31.
All right, number 30, got the Atlanta Falcons. They are not a good team, and they're gonna get a high pick now because of it.
Same here, 30 Falcons. It seems such a sad thing for them that they've blown four games now.
If they win all their close games, they're in a hunt for a wild card.
They would be 8-7 if they didn't blow those 4 games. They'd be 8-7. So yeah, it's a shame for the Falcons. But yeah, 4-11, they're pretty bad, and yeah, they can get a top 5 pick. Who do you have at 29?
I have the Bengals. Nope. I have the Texans.
Yeah, I have the Texans as well at 29. I thought they were better than the Bengals. I thought wrong. The Texans, finally, I'm off their I think that they are terrible now. I used to think that they were...
Nope. They're tanking. They're tanking now. Once they realized they had no shot, they started tanking, and it's working to perfection.
Tanking is not losing by 5 to a terrible team.
We're going to get a top 4 pick in this NFL draft, and that's just what they wanted.
No, they're not. They're not because they traded it to the Dolphins.
They did?
The Dolphins have their pick.
Wow.
Remember, they got Kenny Stills and gave up a first-round pick for him.
No, they got Laramie Tunsil, dummy.
Oh, Laramie Tunsil, that's right. I don't know what they're tanking for, but you keep saying that they're tanking, but they're tanking to get a good second-round pick, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's...
All right, Bengals at 28.
Yeah, Bengals 28. Unfortunately for them, after that win, they're probably not going to be able to get the best offensive lineman in the draft, Penei Sewell, which is a shame for them because they have one of the worst O-lines in the league and they need to upgrade to protect Burrow. But maybe they'll get the second best O-lineman in the draft.
All right. Number 27, I got the Broncos.
This is where we first differ. Number 27, I have the Detroit Lions. After watching them get destroyed 47-7, I kept them at 20. I had them at 27 last week, so I kept them at 27. I'm not going to drop them because it was Chase Daniel and David Bluff for most of the game. Matt Stafford only played 1 drive, but they were so bad. You can't lose by 40.
All right. Yeah, number 26, I got the Lions. Same thing you just said there, all around.
Yeah, I had the Panthers at 26. So that's interesting that so wait, hold on. Who do you have at 27?
Broncos.
The Broncos. Yeah, so I've always been higher on the Broncos than you guys, so that doesn't really surprise me. Yeah, I have the Panthers at 26. I was surprised that they won. I had them at 29, I think, last week. So doing a good job. Unfortunately, the Panthers have lost themselves a top 5 draft selection, though. So I'm not sure what their deal is. Like, do we win or do we get a top 5 draft pick? Let's win. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're into the top 25. Who do you have at 25?
The New England Patriots. They are not a good football team, man.
Oh, wow, that's low.
Chucked his phone on the ground after that brutal loss, and they suck.
All right, for me, I have 25 the Eagles. I'm just I had them at 25 last week. I don't drop them because they were starting a backup, but the fact that they lost by 20 to a bad Dallas Cowboys team is just kind of sad. Wait,
they were not starting a backup.
Jalen Hurts is a backup.
Jalen Hurts is actually their starter, and he's their future.
He's their starter, but ultimately he was a backup going into the season. He's a rookie backup.
And now he is their future.
He might be their future, or he might be a 1-year starter next year and then end up sucking.
He's their future.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah, he's 1 and 2.
He's so good.
He's 1 and 2. He's 1 and 2.
All right,
lost by 20 to the Dallas Cowboys, who are not good. By the way,
gonna make the playoffs.
By the way, 24, I have the Cowboys. So there we go. Cowboys are not good. They're slightly better than Philly because they did win, but they're 24.
24 got the Carolina Panthers. As you said, lost a draft pick, but they did get a win, so they're moving up.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that makes sense.
23, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, Jalen Hurts had his first bad game of the year, but they had a long shot anyway. Now they have no chance of the playoffs. They get to play some spoiler, and they get to have a pretty high draft pick. So they can start the rebuild maybe, or try to keep the pieces together and contend next year.
Yeah. All right. 23, I have Washington. Last week, I had them at 14. I thought they were a playoff team. This week, I dropped them by 9 to 23. Washington football team is officially done. Once they lose next week to Jalen Hurts, who probably will win his second game next week. Tyler Heineke is their starter.
No, Alex Smith might play.
He might play. We'll see. As of now, Tyler Heineke is expected to start. And Alex Smith is hopeful to start. So
Alex Smith. Oh, Washington expects Alex Smith to start on Sunday night.
Oh, that must have been new. Interesting. Well, that might change things, but right now I'm keeping them at 23. I'm not going to change them in the middle of the show, so I'm going to keep it right where they are, 23. I don't think they win. I think the Eagles beat them. They'll lose the division.
All right, yeah, that's fair. 22, I got the Minnesota Vikings.
You didn't say you're 23.
Yeah, that was the Eagles.
Oh, okay.
A couple weeks back, the Vikings were a playoff team. They were 6-6, and they had a good shot at the playoffs, and they lost their straight, and they choked. And not a great year for them as a team, so we'll see what they end up doing if they go with a rebuild or a win-now mode with Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, Thielen, and Jefferson. They have a very good offense that should be in a win-now mode, so I don't know.
So you're much lower on Minnesota than I am. I got it at 22. Let's see here. Who do I have at 22? Denver Broncos, I have at 22.
Wow, that's high.
Actually, I might switch them with Washington. I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch them with Washington. I'm going to put Broncos at 23, Washington 22. Not that much of a difference, but I am remembering now that the Broncos lost to the Chargers by 3. The issue with Broncos is Drew Lock, his NFL record has fallen to 8-9. So for the first time in his career, he's now a below 500 starter. Up until this game, he is always either above 500 or at 500. So 8-9. If they win next week, which I think they will against the Raiders, he'll be back to 9-9. But that is not very promising. I have to say, he was 4-1 last year. This year, he is 5-8. So, or no, he's 4. What is he? Yeah, 5-8 this year, I think. Something like that. He's not been that good this year, so definitely something to worry about for the Broncos. And you really don't want to get another quarterback if you're the Broncos. You've had like 7 in the past 3 seasons, but they might have to.
I had him way lower because of all these reasons as well. So number 21, I got the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're going to end at probably 6-10. They beat the Cardinals. Pretty good win for them, but it just showed that they still have some potential. So we'll see with the healthy defense. Not sure what they'll do at quarterback next year. Will they keep Garoppolo? They try to get someone better. But when they're all healthy, I think they can still contend again next year.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, number 21, I have New England. I know that's much higher than you. But I can't forget, New England did beat the Chargers 40-0, who I think the Chargers are much better right now than I ever used to. They did beat the Cardinals, and they did beat the Ravens, who are right now playing some of their best football. So, I don't know, man. The Patriots are such a weird – and they also beat the Dolphins. They crushed the Dolphins in week 1. So, I don't know what to make of the Patriots. They're a weird team. Now they've lost 3 in a row. I think they have a good shot at losing a 4th game, depending on whether Newton or the players are still – I mean, imagine this. Going into the season, Patriots fans thought Stidham was the next Tom Brady. Stidham has now entered their game, I think 5 times he's come in the game, either in a blowout win or a blowout loss. He has sucked in all of them. He looks terrible. If they start him against the Jets, they will lose, mark my words. Stidham is terrible. I don't even know why they think he's a good backup. He's a terrible backup.
Yeah, that's true. Stidham is not good.
They need to draft a quarterback or trade for someone, but anyone who thought – I mean, it was crazy. At the start of the season, Stidham was supposed to be, like, competitive for a starting job. Oh, yeah. Boy.
I mean, Newton was not very good either, though, so –
Newton has not been good, but at least Newton, sometimes he's good.
Newton wants to play – Newton wants to keep playing, so maybe he'll get another contract. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Into the top 20 now. Who do you have at 20?
I have the New York Giants missing the playoffs because they're going to lose to Dallas. Have them at 20, right in front of their other divisional team, the Washington football team. I'll just say them together, 19 and 20 for these two. I think the Washington football team will lose, and they'll open the door for the Giants, and they will not capitalize. If they had Saquon Barkley, I think they would capitalize. But that injury, 2nd straight year of injury problems, and this was just not their year. I mean, it just wasn't.
All right, number 20 for me, I had the Chargers. This is the highest they've ever been for me. I finally think I've bought into the Chargers. I think next year this is a scary team, but this year they still aren't very good. I was struggling to put them ahead of New England because I'm 40-0. That's a terrible loss, but yeah, just seeing that they managed to get a comeback win against Denver. They got a comeback. Well, it wasn't really a comeback, but it was a really close win against Las Vegas. And I like the Chargers a lot more than I ever used to. They're in the top 20 for the first time this season.
And 19, Dwayne Haskins has officially ruin the Washington football team's season, and they will miss the playoffs, and they're 19. Alex Smith, if he plays, we'll give them a
19,
chance.
that's pretty high.
We'll give them a chance, but if they don't win, then they're done. So, yeah.
Yeah. I have the 49ers at 19. I'm definitely higher on them than Seth. I think
I had them at 21. That's not much different.
okay, never mind. I'm slightly higher than them than Seth. I had to put them in the top 20. I have to respect San Francisco. They've been able to win 6 games without Nick Bosa, without Jimmy Garoppolo for most of the season, missing George Kittle for half the games,
Sherman.
missing Deebo Samuel for half of their games, missing Raheem Mostert at the beginning of the season, missing Richard Sherman for half their games. I mean, they've missed so many people, and I'm sure I've forgotten about others. So just the fact that they've been able to even win 6, and now with CJ Beathard, they beat the Cardinals. That was impressive. So I have them at 19. I think next year they'll be back in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're at 21, pretty close. Yeah, and at 18, I have your number 20, the Chargers. They finished off the year great after blowing lots of leads at the start of the year. This team will be good the next couple of years. Herbert will win Rookie of the Year most likely. I mean, this is just a good team. I just all around they got a good future, young. They got a good receiver, Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler has really good potential. He's been good last year. Like, he can be a good running back. This team is just good.
All right, 18.
Yeah, for you. 18 for you.
Oh yeah.
That was my
for me, 18. I have Minnesota. I definitely am higher on the Vikings than Seth is. I think this was definitely a down year for them, but next year they can come back. And I was impressed that they scored 33 against the Vikings, against the Saints, who have one of the better defenses, one of the best in the NFL. So that really impressed me. I'm keeping them in my top 20. Number 18, I think they will beat the Lions, end up at 7-9. They're an average football team. Number 18 for me.
Yeah, all right. Well, number 17, I have the Oakland Raiders.
18, buddy. 18.
No, I'm not. 18 was the Chargers.
Oh, well, who do you have at 19?
The Washington football team.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm confused.
17 was the Oakland Raiders. They blew their season with a lot of straight losses. John Gruden, another blown season, and some questionable coaching, just not good play towards the end. I'm not sure what to think about this team. Do they have a future? I don't know. They're just finished off very bad. So I don't know. I mean, Derek Carr injury as well, but Mariota did not play bad. So I don't know what to think about this team.
Yeah, I have the Raiders at 17 also. Just a sad season for them in general. They looked so promising, 6-3. At one point they were 7-4 even. Now it looks like they're gonna lose 5 in a row to end the season. The Raiders they're a weird team where every year it's hard to tell, are they gonna be competitive this year? Are they not? I mean, they went from 12-4 to 4-12 the next season. Then they went 6-10, 7-9, 7-9. But their past two, well, they're 7-8 right now. Their past 2 seasons they've had strong starts, bad finishes. I don't know what it is. John Gruden he's a good coach sometimes, and other times he's not a good coach. Yeah. Derek Carr, he's fine. I wouldn't put him on my top 10 anymore. I did at the start of the season. I still put him in the top half of quarterbacks, though.
All right, so number 16. This is where my first playoff team comes in. It's the Dallas Cowboys. I would drop them lower just because they're making the playoffs. I put them pretty high, just like he will do with his playoff team. He'll have them pretty high. So 16 for the Cowboys making the playoffs. They're not really the 16th best team in the NFL. They are just number 16 due to the fact that they will make the playoffs.
For me, I have the Bears at 16. 16 is the definition of an average team. The Bears will, after they lose, probably they'll be 8-8. That's average. So average team goes in the average spot of 16. So, Bears, unfortunately for them, they're going to miss the playoffs. All they had to do was not lose 6 in a row. Even if they won one of those 6 games, they would have been in. But they lost 6 in a row. And in my opinion, this is Matt Nagy's fault for putting in.
I don't know what you're talking. Hold on. There's still a good chance to make the playoffs.
Not really. They have to beat the Packers.
Nope. A Cardinals lost and they're in.
But with John Wolford and the Rams, the Cardinals are not going to lose.
There's still a chance.
There's a chance, but most likely they won't.
All right, well, I have Bears at 15, average spot as well, maybe making the playoffs. I still think they will not, though.
Mm-hmm.
How about your 15?
For me is the Browns.
Wow.
As you guys know, these are my playoff power rankings now, so I have to put all of my playoff teams are the top 14. I think in reality, the Browns are better than 3 of my playoff teams, but unfortunately, I'm putting them at 15 instead of 12 because I'm putting my playoff teams in the top 14. This is my playoff scenarios. So Browns at 15. I think they lose to the Steelers. They're done. They're out of the playoffs. And it's the most Brownsiest way possible by losing to the Jets because your receivers have COVID. I mean, how unlucky is that?
Yeah.
And speaking of the Browns, just a little bit, Johnny Manziel has announced he's coming back to play flag football in the 7-on-7 league. That's
I saw
fan
that.
controlled. Also, Marshawn Lynch is going to be in that league as well.
Nice. Hopefully we get some television for that league.
So flag football, yeah, that'll be fun.
All right. Well, number 14, my second playoff team, the Arizona Cardinals, will sneak in after beating the Rams. Good for them. Kyler Murray is back, and he'll get them the win, and they'll lose in the first round. But 14 is good. D-Hop, Murray, okay, average defense. Kenyon Drake, actually bad defense. This wasn't really their year. Give it 1-2 years, and it will be.
Yeah, for me, I have 14 is my first playoff team, the New York Giants. I think they will sneak in to the playoffs by beating Dallas this week, combined with the Washington loss. I like Joe Judge as a coach. I think this is an organization that will be competitive for years to come. I'm still not sold on Daniel Jones yet. I have to say I'm not sold on him. But next year is going to be a big prove-it year for him. So, I mean, that's really the situation with the New York Giants. They're not going to win a playoff game, but they're a pretty competitive team, I think. They hung in pretty well against Baltimore. Only lost by 2 scores and had a chance at putting it to a 1-score game at the end of the game.
Yeah, all right. Well, number 13, I have the Rams after 3 straight losses. No, 2. But they'll be at 3 after those the Cardinals, the Seahawks, and the Jets, which is the bad one. They lost the division. They made themselves have a chance. They missed the playoffs if the Bears beat the Packers. So, I don't know what's going on with the Rams. They're playing bad. Goff's injury, 13. Seems fair.
Yeah, for me, I have 13 as the Arizona Cardinals right now. I think even if they beat the Rams, I'm not going to blame the Rams too much on it because they don't have Jared Goff. These are both the Rams and the Cardinals are both going to end up as wild cards and then lose in the first round. I think when the Rams are healthy, they're better, so I put them at 12 and the Cardinals at 13. But yeah, Cardinals 13. They just kind of fell apart in the second half of the season. I mean, at one point, this was a 6-3 football team that looked really good. Now, this is a team that could even go 8-8, most likely 9-7.
Yeah.
All right, who do you have at 12? I have the Rams at 12, just so you guys know. So I basically
At 12, I have the Cleveland Browns still making the playoffs with the win over Pittsburgh. And, yeah, I think they'll still be sticking the playoffs. Number 12, they'll probably get the 6th seed. And I think they could actually win the playoff game. So I'm not overreacting over the Jets' loss. COVID situation, still pretty rough this week. But Baker can bounce back. Hopefully he can get at least one receiver that's playable. And as long as they have Chubb and Hunt, they have a chance. Garrett, defense against Mason Rudolph. They should get this win.
And the interesting thing is, who is your team that you have missing the playoffs in the AFC?
The Dolphins lose to the Bills, so I have the Dolphins.
So you have the Dolphins ahead of the Browns, however.
I guess I do by 1 spot, but
yeah. So yeah, so I guess so you have the Dolphins at 11.
Yeah, Dolphins just unlucky. They have to play the Bills. I still think they might be better than the Browns.
That's the same as me. I have the Dolphins at 11 too, because when I think about it, so 14 through 12 are my 3 NFC teams that I have losing in the first round. 11 through 9 are my 3 AFC teams that I have losing in the first round. And I think the Dolphins will lose in the first round, and I think they're the worst of the 3 teams that will lose.
Yeah, I mean, they have a great defense. They don't have much dynamic on receivers. The running game's great, but I think that they need Fitzpatrick.
I just don't understand the QB thing. Like, is it Tua or Fitz? Or, like, why do they keep putting in Tua if Fitz is clearly better?
I don't know. They need to win this game, though, so they might go to Fitz through the first quarter.
I hope so. I want to see more Fitz. All right, so we're into the top 10. The top 10. And by the way, all the same teams we have in the top 10. I think this is a first. So let's get into the top 10.
Number 10, I have the Indianapolis Colts sneaking in as the 7th seed. They are better than the Browns, though, I think, even though they will get the 7th seed and the Browns will get the 6th seed. They'll beat the Jags, and they'll come in and they'll probably lose in the first round to the Bills. But they're still a good football team and probably the end of Phillip Rivers. So we'll see what they do in the offseason. But, yeah, great defense. I'm not sure how they do in the playoffs, but probably not very well.
Yeah, same here. I have the Colts at 10 as well. Not much more to say. I think they lose in the first round, but they're going to be the 6th seed. I think they're slightly better than the Dolphins. All right, let's get into number 9.
At number 9, I have the Buccaneers, led by Tom Brady, after a blowout win over the Lions. That didn't show me much. They played a couple backups. The defense played well, but I still think it might be a first-round exit. But they have a chance to win a playoff game. All they got to do is beat the
Cowboys.
Okay, then they're gonna win a playoff game, and they'll go on it.
To me, they'd have to beat the Giants.
Yeah, they'll win a playoff game and they'll lose in the second round most likely. But Brady had a great year, pretty good defensive year for them. Run game on and off, but good season probably. I say second round exit is a good season for that team.
All right, for me, number 9, this is the best team that I think loses in the first round. It's Tennessee. They're going to have the 4 seed, but unfortunately that means they have to play the 5 seed, which I have the Red Hot Ravens taking the 5 seed. I think the Titans won the first game. The Ravens will win the rematch. So I have the Titans making an early exit. Last week I had them at 3. I thought they were one of the best teams. I thought they would beat the Packers. They got destroyed by the Packers. Now I have them at 9. I'm out on the Titans now.
Yeah, so like you, Titans number 8. I think they'll lose to the Ravens as well in the first round. They're still a great team. No disrespect to them. They have a chance in that game. I think Derrick Henry's great, but I think the Ravens are playing so well right now. I mean, I don't even consider them in the same category as the Titans, the Colts, the Browns, the Dolphins anymore. I forgot their same record even. So, like, I don't know. That team's just really good now.
Yeah, all right. And my number 8, I have Seattle. This is my teams that I think will lose in the divisional round now. I think it's very close between all of them, but right now I'm taking Seattle as the worst of those 4 teams because when I look at our matchup against the team we will be playing, the Saints, I think that is a bad matchup for us. So I think that could be a potentially really bad loss. Hopefully they prove me wrong. I'm excited to watch the game against the 49ers. If we can really put up some points against a really good defense in San Francisco, I will probably have more faith that we could potentially beat the Saints.
Yeah, I think we will beat the Saints. But, yeah, we'll get to that when we get there. Number 7, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, they turned it around, but I still think they'll lose this week, and they'll end up in the 3 seed. And that means they will play the Browns. It'll be a rematch. They'll have Big Ben. Browns will have their receivers most likely, though, but they'll win. They'll win a first-round playoff game. They'll go on, and they'll end up losing to the Buffalo Bills the next round. So number 7 seems fair.
Yeah, and I think number 7 seems fair for my team as well, which is the Buccaneers. They will win the first round. All they have to do is clean up against Atlanta. They can win the first round. And, yeah, I mean, I think Buccaneers, yeah, they beat Atlanta. They get the 5 seed. Then they get to play either the Giants, Cowboys, or Washington. They'll win that. Then they have to play Green Bay. They have a chance, I think, at an upset against Green Bay. They did beat Green Bay earlier on, but I think they will probably lose. So Buccaneers at 7. I think they're slightly better than Seattle. Just after watching their game against Detroit, I like them a little bit more than I like the Hawks.
No, I don't. Hawks are better than Bucks.
47-7 though, so that's why I put Buccaneers at 7.
All right, number 6, the red-hot Baltimore Ravens will win a playoff game, and honestly, they might go on and give the Chiefs a run for their money in that second-round matchup. But Lamar Jackson is playing great again. The defense stepping it up, and they're just a really good team. Borderline top 10, number 6, very good football team.
All right, for me at number 6, I also had the Ravens. This is exactly what I said would happen. Seth and Drew did not believe me when I told them they were going to win their final 5 and make the playoffs. But I was right, and I think they finally have understood this. I've been right about the Ravens the entire time. I was the only person that never once dropped them out of my top 10. Just to let you all know. In fact, the lowest I put them was 7. The lowest I ever put them, even when they were 6 and 5, I had them at number 7, and that decision was the right one because they are just the same place as they were. They're the 7th. Right now I have them at 6th. They're not a top 5 team, but they are right exactly where I had them when they were 6 and 5. This is a playoff team. This is a team that will win a playoff game. Lamar Jackson will get his first playoff win. I believe in the Ravens, and I've always believed in the Ravens. Not as much as Drew did at the beginning when he said they were undefeated, but I've always believed, I think. So now we get into the top 5. I'm gonna go first here because I just want to say I'm gonna give my 4 and well actually Seth, you give your 5.
All right, number 5, the Seattle Seahawks. They're gonna make it to the NFC Championship game, have a good shot at the Super Bowl. They'll come up short, I feel like, but they're still a great football team, proved against the Rams last week, and really good team. Defense is rolling, offense looking like Seahawks football. Number 4, I got the Saints. Killed the Vikings, not killed, but Kamara looking like an absolute beast. That run game is lethal, even with the pass game's not there. That defense looking questionable now after a lot of points, but I think this team is very well. Maybe I think Seahawks could beat them though. Number 3, I have the Packers. They'll make the Super Bowl in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers won MVP. Devontae Adams' rolling defense is playing, I guess, better you could say. Snow, Titans can't beat them in the snow. Snow is their friend. If they have snow, they're gonna go far, but they will go far either way. Number 2, I got the Buffalo Bills. This team is great. Josh Allen playing like an MVP. Stephon Diggs playing like the best receiver in the league. Devin Singletary's gotten the run game back a little bit recently. Their defense stepping up, I'd say. And, probably lock up the 2 seed. So, great team there. And number 1, obviously the Chiefs. They're the best team in the league. They're maybe the best team ever, 15-1. They'll be close to the best team ever.
All right, so for me, I want to say this. This is the toughest decision I've ever had to make in my power rankings. Is between 5 and 4. And here's why. Because number 5 is for me, the way I do it, number 5 is the best team that loses in the divisional round. The best team that doesn't make the championship game is number 5. The way I have this playing out, Pittsburgh and Buffalo are going to be playing in the divisional round for a spot in the championship game, with the winner would play the Chiefs. I do not know who will win that game. I honestly don't. I thought the Steelers were done. Then I watched them against the Colts. Steelers look scary again. They look scary again. I'm going to put – I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. Am I allowed to give it a tie?
Sure.
I'm going to put a tie between the Bills and the Steelers. Between 4 and 5, it's a tie. I don't know which is better. Very slightly, I think I would take the Bills, but on the other hand, Josh Allen's never won a playoff game, and Big Ben's gone to the Super Bowl. So who do I trust more in the playoffs? Probably the Steelers. I don't know. This is the toughest decision I've ever had to make. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea which of those teams is going to the championship game and which of those teams is going home. I know the Chiefs will make the championship game, but I'll get to them later. At number 3, I have Green Bay. I still don't think they are better than New Orleans. I've talked about this already in the show earlier on. So for those of you who are just watching the power ranking segment really quick, the reason I don't think Green Bay is as good is because of their defense. Defense wins championships. New Orleans is at number 2. I think they make the Super Bowl. I think they're better than Green Bay. I know they lost to Green Bay early in the season, and I know they lost 2 in a row earlier, or not early, but they lost 2 in a row just recently. But boy, did they look good against the Vikings. Oh my goodness. 55 did they score? So that definitely has restored my faith in the Saints. And at number 1, I have the Chiefs. I think it's absurd to not put the Chiefs at number 1. I think they have probably the best offense in the NFL. They have the best tight end, one of the best receivers, and arguably the best quarterback, as well as a solid running game, a good offensive line, and a great defense as well, and a good head coach. They have everything. Chiefs,
All right, well,
I have them winning the Super Bowl. All right, so
that's our power rankings. So do you want to quickly do predictions?
Yes, really quickly. Let's do our predictions. We're going to make this quick. We already basically have said all of our predictions in the power rankings, but here we go. Week 17.
Vikings, Lions.
Ravens,
AFC. What is it?
AFC first. Ravens, Bengals.
I got the Ravens going to secure a playoff spot.
Yep, Ravens as well. All right, Dolphins, Bills.
This is a tough game, close defensive matchup if you ask me, but I think Tua, Fitzpatrick, and Bills are winning because of all the drama there.
Yeah, I take the Bills as well. All right, Steelers, Browns.
This is a tough game. Mason Rudolph's playing, though. I think the Browns will get the win, even through all the COVID issues.
I'm taking the Steelers in this. All right, Chargers, Chiefs.
Chiefs, they're resting their starters, but I still think they'll win.
This is where we differ. I'm taking the Chargers to win. I think Chad Henne, he's an okay backup for the Chiefs. But
I think Chad Henne will throw dimes and beat.
I think Justin Herbert will outduel Chad Henne significantly, and they will win significantly. This is where the Chiefs will fall apart. But they don't. It doesn't matter for them anyways. They
fall apart.
I think this is not fall apart as a whole, but I think in this game the Chiefs will kind of fall apart, and I kind of feel like this is a 2-score win for the Chargers at least, maybe 3. All right. Jaguars at Colts.
Colts dominant.
I'm taking the Colts, but really close. Jets at Patriots.
Wow. I don't want to pick the Jets 3 straight weeks, but I'm about to pick the Jets. Jets will win, especially if Jared Stidham plays.
I'm taking the Jets as well, and it seems like Belichick is heavily considering Stidham at this point, so I'm not sure. I'm taking the Jets. Okay, Titans at Texans.
Underrated match. It'll be a good game, I feel like, but Titans will win.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Titans as well. You know, if the Texans win, the Titans could be out of the playoffs.
Wow, that's crazy.
All right, Raiders at Denver.
I know. I'm going to pick the Texans. Texans are playing spoiler, and they're going to get that.
And if that happens, just so you know, if that happens, the Titans – okay, never mind. The Titans would still have tiebreakers over the Dolphins and Browns if that happens. So there's still a good chance that they make it.
I'm going to say Texas playing spoiler, most likely.
All right. Next we have Raiders at Broncos.
Kind of a bad game, not meaningful at all, so I'm just going to go Broncos.
I'm taking the Denver too because what I know from watching Denver Broncos games is it's impossible to win at Denver when it's cold in December, January. They have an insane record at home in the second half of the season. Last year, Drew Lock won for like 4 games at home late in the season. I'm taking Denver to beat Las Vegas and seal the nail in the coffin there. All right, next, Packers at Bears.
This is a very tough game to pick, honestly. So tough. The Bears are fighting for their lives, trying to make the playoffs, and they'll win this game and make the nope. The Packers will win.
Packers, I have them as well. It'll be closer, I think, but I'm going to take the Packers. All right, Falcons at Buccaneers.
Are the Bucs playing for anything?
They're playing to lock up the 5 seed.
Okay, the Bucs will win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucs also. Football team at Eagles.
Eagles will play spoiler. Football team is out. Boom.
I'm taking that too. Cowboys at New York Giants.
Cowboys are getting in the playoffs again. Cowboys are Andy Dalton.
Giants. I'm taking Giants all the way. All right. Vikings at Lions. By the way, I'm picking the Giants, but I'm rooting for Dallas because I do like the Cowboys a lot.
This is a bad, dumb matchup that shouldn't even be played. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
I'm taking the Vikings also. The Lions, they're terrible. All right. Saints at Panthers.
Saints will
Go Panthers, right? If we're a Seahawks fan, go Panthers.
I'm gonna go Panthers.
All right, I'm taking the Saints. And then we got Seahawks at 49ers.
Seahawks lock up the 3 seed, maybe the 2 seed.
I'm taking San Fran. You know what? I don't know why.
You're dumb.
Hopefully I'm wrong. We'll be the 3 seed if we lose. We'll probably be the 3 seed if we win too. All right, sure. Cardinals at Rams.
This is a tough one. I'm gonna go Cardinals. Beat John Wolford.
I'm taking the Cardinals as well. So let's see here. Our points of conflict were: you picked the Browns, I picked the Steelers. You picked the Chiefs, I picked the Chargers. You picked the Texans, while I picked the Titans. And you picked the Cowboys, while I picked the Giants. And you picked the Panthers, while I picked the Saints. And you picked the Seahawks when I picked the 49ers. So we have quite a few points of conflict. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of conflict.
Wow.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And with that, we've concluded this super long episode of the Northwest Sportscast. This was over 2 hours long, I believe. Thank you guys if you've managed to stay the entire thing.
We'll put it into parts too.
But if you did, please recommend us.
Put it into parts. Put it into parts. Put it into parts.
Yeah, I definitely will be splitting this into parts for the YouTube channel. I'm going to try to get this uploaded as a podcast as well. Depending on how much space it'll let me do. So thank you guys all for listening. This has been the Northwest Sportscast.